Stirling County also have the solitary win, but have gone about their business in a far more wily way. They've managed to secure 9 points, having registered 3 bonus points so far. Can they pick up their second victory of the season? It's all ahead of us here on Free Sports, live from Meggetland. Boroughmuir Bears versus Stirling County. Kick-off at 1:30. It's a very warm welcome to Edinburgh. A beautiful afternoon for rugby it is as well. I'm delighted to welcome alongside me Boroughmuir Bears legend, shall we say. I was going to say stalwart, I'll say legend, and now academy coach in Edinburgh, Chris Laidlaw. Now Chris, let's talk about this. You know, Boroughmuir Bears, they started well the first weekend, but they've got to get a win this weekend, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a number of reasons. Obviously, sitting foot at the table, they'll be keen to get a win. Their performance last week probably warranted a little bit more, and it's the last game before the week off. And I think everyone will want to go into that week with a win under their belt, and no more so than Boroughmuir Bears today. Absolutely, and Boroughmuir as well. Last week, as you mentioned, I mean, they were so dominant in that first half down in Melrose, yet they weren't able to get the victory. And they didn't get the bonus point either. Yeah, I know, that's what I mean around not getting anything from that game. They'll be massively disappointed. They put a lot into that performance, and as you say, that first half they were pretty dominant in terms of controlling possession, territory. They had, the flow of the game was all theirs. They probably just didn't make it capitalise on that and get points on the board, and ultimately to come away with nothing. They'll be massively disappointed with that. And they've got players there that are really dynamic and exciting as well. They've scored some amazing tries, and they've been sort of dominant physically in some of the games as well for periods. Yeah, they have. I think the team will probably want to lose that tag around being able to score really good tries. I think the pleasing thing around round one for them was their defensive effort. So they'll be trying to marry that up with some of the outstanding tries they've scored. And as you say, last week, Tom Brown, Jordan Edmonds, quality tries, but it's just stopping it at the other end and capitalising when they're on top. Stirling County, of course, last weekend got an amazing win with a kick. The last kick of the game, it was like watching the British and Irish Lions against the Springboks. That last penalty, after a night of bad penalties from both sides. But they're coming in with a bit of confidence, and they'll be tough to beat today. I think they will. I think that victory will have given them a lot of confidence. They'd been playing well up until that point, to be fair, and just losing out narrowly in their other games. So I think that result will have given them a boost in terms of getting over the line victory. But the performances have been really good, and I think, look, today will be a good battle. Obviously that was a home win for them, but on the road is a different kettle of fish as well. But they will be buoyed by that, because there were moments in that game they played really exciting rugby. Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching Stirling play. I think they've brought a lot to the competition in terms of how they've been playing. They've played from deep. Their offloading game's been really good. So look, I think they'll come in full of confidence today. And as I said, the last game before the break, if they can get another one on the board, they'll go into that next the second half of the season with real confidence. Absolutely as well. And I guess you could a couple of weeks ago we were maybe kind of looking at Boroughmuir and looking at Stirling County and thinking very similar in terms of they were dominating parts of games but weren't able to get over the line. Is that a fair comment? Yeah, I would say that is fair, Dougie. Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's ultimately the teams that can capitalise when they're on top in games. You're not going to have 80 minutes where you're on top. So that's where it's really important for Boroughmuir when they're not on top, not to concede easy field possession, not to give away yellow cards, so that they can ultimately, when the opportunity is there, they can capitalise with points on the board. And County as well, they've been guilty of getting lots of yellow cards too. Yeah, look, it's a big part of the game now, the yellow cards and how teams can capitalise when the other team's down to 14. So it makes it interesting. It makes it very interesting indeed, very exciting too. Let's hear from the coaches ahead of this one. Now, you must be looking forward to this one after the frustration of last weekend.
Yeah, it's been a tough opening to the season, to be fair, but there's been lots of positives for us. It is another big game, but listen, they're all big games. All the teams are very, very good, very competitive, and we know we're going to be at our best to be competitive and to stand a chance of winning. So
the first half last week down in Melrose, my goodness, you really came out of the traps incredibly fast, and that was such a fantastic thing to see.
Yeah, we've shown glimpses of that throughout. It was nice to see that being put together for 40 minutes. And to be fair, there was a lot of really good things in the second half as well. But Southern Knights are a good team, and they were always going to have periods of the game, and they just, that ultimately told in the end. But take away 3 or 4 minutes or 3 or 4 phases of that game, and actually we're equal to Southern Knights, in all aspects of the game. So again, we just got to keep working hard, taking the positives out each game, and moving forward.
I guess that's the thing, because it's putting together a full 80-minute performance is going to be key here today, and against the Stirling County side, who are going to be full of confidence with that win at home last weekend.
Yeah, and listen, you know, they're dare I say it, in this competition, masters of the 80 minutes. You know, they've been in the game at the death in all their games, and you know, last week was a great example of, you know, having, you know, had a sucker punch, but you know, they managed to find a way back into the game and come away with a win. So you know, this is a big game for us today to test ourselves against good opposition, to play for 80 minutes, because we'll need to, and let's, you know, hopefully come away with something.
And you've made some changes as well. Talk us through them.
Well, I think the changes that we've made have been entirely forced upon us, or rather, you know, are of our own design. But you know, overall, we've got guys who are injured, guys coming back from injury or availability. So it's a continual rotation of players. As I say, whether we've ever had our strongest 15 on the pitch, I'm not sure yet, and I guess that's the challenge around this competition is being able to have the squad who can step in and play, you know, at this level, and that's a big ask for the guys after having such a long time away from the game, and also the competition is a higher standard now.
It certainly is. Listen, we wish you all the best today.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. So Ben, you're coming in here full of confidence, I would imagine, after that win last weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can take a lot of confidence from the way we played. I thought the performance was right up there. We would have preferred it not to have gone right down to the wire as it did, but I think, you know, being in a position, I think with 12 points up with 50 minutes to go against a quality Bulls side, we can take a lot of confidence from that.
Are you getting more grey hairs as the season goes on? Because my goodness, the games are so tight for you guys.
Yeah, that's it. It's been pretty intense week on week, hasn't it? I think it'd be nice to have that break week next week, if I'm honest. It'd be lovely to go into that break week with a win today, though.
And let's talk about, you know, penalties and conversions, because it seemed like a fairly benign evening last Friday night, yet you weren't scoring them, and neither was Ayrshire Bulls actually either. So you know, what was going on there? And to win the game with a kick right at the end was pretty dramatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I think you know, I'd say most of our conversions were out wide, so they were tough kicks for Andrew Gowdy. Craig Robertson was on by the end of the game. He took our last conversion that was successful, and then he gave the intercept to put us behind with the last play of the game, but then stepped up to take that kick from the 10-metre line. So he's 100% for us. He'll potentially kick a bit for us today. He comes in the team and starts today, so hopefully we can take advantage of some of those penalties.
So let's talk about some of the other changes in the team today. What's your thinking?
Yeah, there's a little bit of rotation there. A couple of guys are unavailable, injuries, other unavailabilities, but you know, it's going to be a squad effort all season, so we want to test that. We want to give guys opportunities. We've been really clear that we want everyone to play in the first sort of 3-4 rounds of the competition. Everyone has played, bar one player who's been out the whole time, and we wanted to keep a bit of consistency there because it's our first win, really good performance. We wanted to reward that with giving guys another start. And discipline, I guess, will be key as well. You've got quite a few yellow cards so far. Yes, I think we're top of the charts, aren't we, for cards? I think it was another 14 penalties last week, so that's more than we want. We have talked about that, and hopefully we can shore that up a little bit today.
Wish you all the best this afternoon.
Thank you.
Lots to look forward to this afternoon. Boroughmuir Bears against Stirling County coming up at 1:30. First though, let's take a break. Welcome back. Boroughmuir Bears against Stirling County fast approaching, but time now to look back at the weekend's action, starting with Friday night's top of the table clash when Watsonians hosted the Southern Knights.
I'm delighted to be joined by Chris Hunter, the Director of Rugby here at Watsonians for what will be a cracking match and a beautiful evening in the capital city. It's Watsonians Rugby against the Southern Knights. Southern Knights have got it back on their side. It's Alan Ferry on the crash ball. Coming across there was Sudden. He left his feet, the referee is there and happy. Here's Baggett. Baggett with a little chip. Looking for the winner, he's got it perfectly. I just mentioned how dangerous Patrick Anderson can be, and he's in there once more. It's his third try of the season, perfectly put through by the boot of Jason Baggett, and first on the board are the Southern Knights.
Yeah, we've spoken about it quite a lot already, but Southern Knights mixing up their play there. Sonians maybe thought they'd keep it in hand, try and punch up the middle, but this time Jason's stuck it in the corner and Patrick Anderson's read it really well, and difficult one to defend when you've got guys coming into the ball like that. So it's been a pretty bright start from Southern Knights. I think they've had the better of the ball, better the chances, and they'll take real confidence with that, so it'll just be a case of how Watsonians now react.
Good set up play here. Little snipe was on. Main tries to take it. He's a metre short. There's a pile of bodies want this one, and I just think there was loose ball, a little bit short as well. We'll try and go over again. The referee is there and it's given.
Carl Main.
Well, Carl Main is a useful guy to have around the place. He's already getting the plaudits there. Didn't play against Heriots last week, back in the side this week. It was one of these ones you could see the Knights struggling to defend. Still advantage come, now out through the backs. That's beautifully done onto Baggett. Baggett gets across. Here's the fullback going in, and he's through. Joe Jenkins, just to the left-hand side of the upright. And all that came for the clever little move off the line out. They kept possession, and they've scored. Joe Jenkins with the try.
Yeah, the line out move straight off the training paddock. Ewan McLaren running. I think Rhys Cullen managed to just stop him short of the line, but again Southern Knights sucking in the Watsonians defence there. They had the penalty advantage and some pretty slick hands.
28-year-old gets it down, taken by Ball. The rolling ball. Davis is at the back. This is going to be hard to stop. He has a little glance up. Now it comes round. It's splintered away. They're still trying to drive forward, and they get the try. Well, it was excellent work, and the smile on the face of Carl Davis. And now round the corner they go. It's a free play. It's good tackle coming in there from Borthwick. And round it goes, and the score is given. I think it's Lewis Ball that might emerge. Sam Daly too.
Stevie Longwell, I think.
Longwell gets the credit in the end. Yep.
It's quite an important scrum for Watsonians. If they can come away with a score here, that could put the game out of sight, but equally it's been a few scrum penalties for the Knights in the second half.
Goes in, it's holding, and there comes the penalty. Watsonians have simply been too dominant. The front five have done their job, but they've come in and up. There's a little tap given, and the referee is going to give the score. Well, there was no hanging about from the home side. They got up and at it really, really quickly, and over the line they go. Morrison waits, and there it is. It's kicked out, and it's over. And Watsonians get the victory. Their fourth win of the season. The Southern Knights, their first defeat of the season. They led at half-time, but a very impressive second half from Fergus Pringle's side has brought them victory, and what Chris Hunter was an entertaining contest.
As I said, it's a great advert for the FOSROC Super 6. I think the standards are definitely rising, and again, that was a fantastic game, probably for the neutral. And Watsonians dug deep, and it was a really strong second half performance, which I'm sure Fergus and the coaches will be proud of.
Good afternoon and welcome to Millbrae on a glorious afternoon here in South West Scotland, where Ayrshire Bulls and Heriots Rugby go head to head on weekend 5 of the FOSROC Super 6 season. And the Bulls certainly getting quick ball here at the breakdown, which is causing Heriot's Rugby defence all sorts of problems. Away they go through there. Calvin Henderson, a big tight head prop, stopped 7 or 8 metres short of that Heriot's line. Long ball over the top there, and this could be the first try of the afternoon. It is indeed. Mike Adamson, a loud blast on the whistle. It's still the Bulls 5 metres or so out from the Heriot's line. 5-0 the home side lead, looking to get themselves over for the second try. They think they've scored it, the referee agrees. Blast on the whistle, and the Ayrshire Bulls go over for their second try of the match.
Hold. Okay, carry back.
Back it comes to Jordan Infantini right through the middle there, steps of his right foot, then his left, and ties Lloyd Wheeldon, and Knotts is still in possession here, and then finds his winger Aaron Tate.
Back to way.
A little kick through there. This could work for the Bulls. Eli Caven chasing that. Can he get there first? 2 players die for it, and the referee awards the try.
No. Clearly back to way. Clearly back to way.
A little bit too far it goes, and Callum Marshall, the Heriot's number 8, gallops off across towards centre field, makes good ground there for Heriot's, and quick ball for his scrum half Lloyd Wheeldon. Comes across to their left hand side. Their space wasn't the best pass there. Still a breakdown this left hand touchline here, and this should be a score for Heriot's Rugby if they can time the pass right, and they can indeed. And over goes James Cooper for the first score of the afternoon for Heriot's Rugby. They've had umpteen opportunities in the opening 10 minutes or so. Good work by the tight defence there of Heriot's, surviving again. So it's the Bulls' backs then from that kick. Look to attack down the 15-metre channel here, and the ball outside there to big Robbie Nairn. I don't think Heriot's will be able to stop that. In he goes. The big left winger. Just inching forward now. Once they get some momentum, though, it will be very hard for Heriot's Rugby to stop this one. Lennart going in looking for it, but I'm not sure he's going to get it back. As the Ayrshire Bulls work their way towards the line here. Adamson on hand to see it. A breakaway from the back of the maul. And the Ayrshire Bulls with their 5th try of the afternoon from the line out. Quick ball here. There could be space on the inside there, little inside pass. Very close again, the Ayrshire Bulls right in front of the post. Pick and go now from the forwards, just 3 or 4 metres out. In fact, they're about a metre or so away now. Scrambling forward, and the Heriot's defence scrambling to try and keep them out as they drive towards the posts here. The Bulls will just pick and go once again. Over goes the replacement prop, doesn't quite get himself over the line. Referee Adamson on hand, loud blast in the whistle, and once again awards the try to the Ayrshire Bulls' 6th try of the afternoon for the home side. I suspect the Bulls will just kick this one out, they do. And the referee will signal the end of the game here at Millbrae. Finished here at Millbrae, the Ayrshire Bulls 41, Heriot's Rugby 7.
FOSROC Super6 is taking a break next weekend, but the domestic game will start, and Perthshire Rugby hosted an event this week to celebrate that, and Scottish Rugby legend and chairman John Jeffrey was there.
I believe it's really important that sport plays a part in returning to normal life after the pandemic. You can see, look around me tonight, you see loads of children and young people having a fantastic time. We have had, as a nation, the toughest 18 months, and it is absolutely essential that children and young people and all of us have an opportunity to socialise, to exercise. It's really good for your mental health. Team sports are just fantastic, and it's just superb to see so many people here, all ages, all abilities, all having fun. That's what we need.
This Saturday is a big milestone in not just Scottish Rugby, but Scottish society as well. Club Rugby is back, and going to be back with a bang. We've been waiting 18 months for this to happen, and it's just great that it's going to happen. We're going to be back playing rugby. The volunteers are going to get involved, everyone's involved. You see it tonight, you look around it tonight and see all the kids, the excitement, the enthusiasm, from all ages and both sexes. Everybody's involved with rugby, they're getting involved, and we're going to start again on Saturday. And it's a huge thanks to all the volunteers here, everyone that's got involved, and especially the Scottish Government and all our other partners for supporting us through this pandemic.
Always great to hear from John Jeffrey, a wise, wise man indeed. Coming up after the break, it's Boroughmuir Bears against Stirling County. Welcome back to Meggetland, a hugely important game for Boroughmuir Bears and Stirling County. Let's get straight to the live action with Chris Laidlaw and Stuart McFarlane.
Yeah, thanks very much, Doogie. The sky over Meggetland is rather a watercolour grey this Sunday afternoon. There is a little hint of autumn in the air, but these sides both looking to go into next weekend's midweek or mid-competition break, I should say, looking for a victory. Of course, Boroughmuir winning on the opening night of this season's competition, searching for the second win since that narrow victory over near neighbours Heriots. Stirling County coming into this contest this afternoon on the back of scoring 5 tries against Ayr last weekend. How their head coach Ben Cairns would love back-to-back wins going into the mid-season break. Let's take a quick look at the sides then. Dan Winning comes in at loose head for the benched George Caven, the Boroughmuir sides. Behind the scrum, Ronan Kerr returns for the injured centres, with Duncan Munn in at centre, and Jordan Edmonds reverts back to his natural wing position. Glenn Faulds drops out altogether. Rory Drummond is fit again, and he will cover the outside back positions from the bench. For Ben Cairns and this Stirling County side, Craig Robertson is in from the start. Tom Roach shifts out towards the wing, and Logan Trotter drops out. Up front, JP Whelan moves from tight head to loose head. Rainer Kennedy rotates back to his natural position as hooker, with Angus Fraser moving to the bench. Lou Skinner will start at tight head for the visiting side. Alongside me is Chris Laidlaw, and Chris will be very much looking forward to a match of great importance for both these sides.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, absolutely. Look, the week before the break, I think both sides will be keen to get a victory heading into that off week. So, yeah, looking forward to this afternoon's game.
Stirling County then first onto the field of play, led out by their skipper Rainer Kennedy, who joined the club at the age of 13 and scored both in this fixture on the opening night of the inaugural FOSROC Super6 campaign back in November 2019, and when the sides met at Bridgehawk as well on the 29th of February. So he knows his way to the try line against Boroughmuir. Boroughmuir led on to the field of play with their skipper in their traditional colours of the check jerseys of blue and green with the dark shorts and socks. Our match referee this afternoon makes his first appearance onto the field. Graham Ormiston will take charge of this one, and Boroughmuir will get the match underway through Tom Pittman. 5 penalties in that opening night victory over Heriots. He's got 9 for the season and 2 conversions so far. Pittman then will get the signal from Graham Ormiston and get this match underway. Stirling County looking to exit. Craig Robertson with a very early touch, and that carried up there for Andrew Gowdy up towards the edge of the 22. Stirling will look to bring their half-back partnership of Gowdy and Grant Hughes into play early on. Hughes scoring a try against Southern Knights. Gowdy himself 3 conversions and 2 penalties so far this season. Of course, they've the experience and long boot of Craig Robertson. High kick opportunity now for Boroughmuir. It was allowed to bounce. There's the cross field. Boroughmuir looking to give chase. Taking the ball into touch there, but immediately playing it was number 14, Tom Brown. The assistant was up with play, and Brown did everything to try and play the ball back before entering into touch, but it will be a Stirling County throw-in on the 10-metre line. A chance for Rainer Kennedy to throw the ball in. He makes his way across, and Chris, both these sides will want just to settle into the contest as the wind begins to pick up just ever so slightly. Is going to be a factor.
Yeah, they will. First set piece for Stirling here, looking to get off to a good start and launch an attack from inside their own half.
Kennedy with the throw. Back it comes to the scrum half. Hughes trying to make some ground up and around that 10-metre line. Just across they go. Hughes again. Byron Bowes and James Poe are the 2 lock forwards for Stirling County. Bowes, the South African. And that, again, good work from County, trying to continue this forward momentum up towards halfway. Boroughmuir applying a solid defensive line. Crossfield kick, downfield. Boroughmuir of Martin Simprich back with that red scrum cap on his head. Knocks it right-footed into touch. And that takes play just in front of the main stand on the 10-metre line, this time in the Boroughmuir half of the field, and another throw-in opportunity for the visitors.
Yeah, that was a nice little bit of play. Archie Russell coming in at first receiver out the back to Andrew Gowdy, and the benefit of having a left boot in your team, and Craig Robertson there and applying pressure with his boot down into the Boroughmuir half. So yeah, good outcome there for Stirling in terms of their kicking game.
Kennedy. Jonathan Phelan will come across. In fact, it was on this occasion Lewis Skinner with the instructions. Kennedy's throw, plenty of pace on that. Touch there for Connor Gordon, working it through the centres there. Jardine and Russell in with play, back towards the scrum half again. Grant Hughes looking to orchestrate things. Stirling up towards that 10-metre line, work it back to the number 8, Dean Taylor Menzies, never present in the opening FOSROC 6 campaign back in 2019-2020. Recycled again. George Arnott takes the ball into the contact situation, recycled by Hughes. Again, a little dummy pass. Gowdy looking at what was available to his right hand side, ex-GHA player. And a penalty being awarded to Stirling County just on that Boroughmuir 10, centre field.
Second man. Yeah.
The chance to look at this again. An early opportunity for points for the visiting side, and Stirling just working it from their own 10 into the Boroughmuir 10, using forwards and backs looking up well, particularly the players in the back row for County.
Yeah, Stirling will be happy with that start, coming off the back of their last minute win last week, and a really positive start in the first 3-4 minutes in this, and now an opportunity to take 3 points, similar position to where he nailed the last one last week.
Robertson's got a big boot on him. Educated left foot sucks, as you see, round the ankles, and that's just a fraction beyond the staggered 10-metre line. Here he goes then. Clean left footed strike, but that seems to be drifting wide of the uprights, so a missed opportunity for Stirling County. But Craig Robertson will learn a little bit more about the wind and the conditions around Meggetland with that effort from the 10.
Yeah, just slid off to the left in it. The breeze probably just heading in that direction, so yeah, a couple of little adjustments maybe for the next one.
From the restart then, the 22 dropout, Stirling players back again. Hughes, plenty of options to that right hand side. James Poe up towards halfway. Hughes again, recycled on towards Gowdy. Plays queuing up, Robertson joining in the attack. Hughes in behind, penalty this time for Boroughmuir. So both sides exchanging penalties, the ball taken into contact, not released there. And Graham Ormiston very quickly overplay, and providing Boroughmuir with a platform now to ping this one down into the Stirling 22. And a chance here for Tom Pittman from hands then, aiming the kick downfield. And that's a decent attacking platform just outside the 22, but a throw in here for Craig McKenzie in the home side.
Yeah, not the cleanest of strikes by Tom Pittman there, but it's found its way just outside the 22, and Luke Boroughmuir would be delighted with that penalty. A really good low chop tackle, allowed Duncan Munn clear rights to the ball, and did well to get the steal.
Ross Dunbar goes over a second time just to have a word with his hooker there, Craig McKenzie. Band round the ears, but jockeying in the line. Forward and back they go, hands on it there, look like Craig Keddy, who got the touch back, recycled, and some power now being shown here as it's recycled again. Biaretto, an opportunity for him. Biaretto goes in once more, on towards his fly half. Pittman this time, on the angle, centres up with play as well. Duncan Munn was ready and willing. Stirling looking for the turnover opportunity, and they've got it. And recycled by Hughes. Boroughmuir will be disappointed to have lost possession just a fraction inside that Stirling 22. Hughes again, lining up the challenge with Simprich, just to slow him up. Stays on his feet. Stirling this time looking for the box kick, and it's a rather flat kick downfield. Two Boroughmuir players back. Man in the ball is Tom Pittman. A little pass infield and up and over the 10-metre line they go again, looking to quickly recycle. Barretto over with play. 2 man of the match awards so far in the FOSROC Super 6 competition for him. So that's not a bad return in the matches that have been played so far. Pittman once more has a little look on that right hand side. as he was coming up at a rate of knots. Pittman receiving it from his scrum half. Still he's got it. Good determined running here. Has to offload. Goes up towards that 22. Scrum half goes in. Now the lock forward, this time Jack Fisher. And options towards the left-hand side. Barretto showing his pace, looking to maintain a good tempo here. Taken on by Ronan Kerr outside centre. Stirling remain disciplined on the edge of the 22. Barretto again. This time Jack Fisher goes very direct. Ball goes loose, picked up by the scrum half. Out to outside centre, Ronan Kerr. 15 metres in from touch again, just trying to make some ground inside that 22. But another penalty has been awarded. And Stirling County will look just to try and ease the pressure that Boroughmuir have applied in the last couple of minutes, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just be disappointed to lose possession from Jordan Edmonds' carry, but ultimately they got the ball back from a flat kick from Craig Robertson and launched a pretty promising attack there through some good continuity and offloading game. So, but again, just too slow to the breakdown, allowed Taylor Menzies in over the ball and been awarded the penalty here, so they'll be able to relieve pressure with a kick.
Sides have conceded a couple of early penalties, and that's one thing that Doogie in the pre-match was talking particularly to Ben Cairns about. I think Stirling, their penalty count was something like 13 last weekend. It's an aspect of the game, and I guess every team in the competition will always be looking to try and work on, because a penalty count that size is something you want to chip away at.
Yeah, I suppose for Boroughmuir that's frustrating because they're in possession of the ball ultimately, and they can control that by supporting that contact just a little bit quicker, a little bit more accurate in a dangerous position on the field for them. So look, the contact area is hotly contested, and if you're not accurate, you're not there on time, then teams are punishing you.
Of course, this fixture has a bit of history in the FOSROC Super 6 competition. You go back to the 8th of November 2019 here at Megatland, the very, very first fixture on the opening season of the competition. Boroughmuir 24, Stirling 27, a 3-point game. It was even closer when the sides met at Bridge Hawk on the 29th of February last year. 2 points separating the sides, Stirling winning 36-34. So Stirling coming in with 2 wins in this competition against Boroughmuir, but 2 very close matches, and we expect nothing else this afternoon. A closely fought affair. Little wipe of the hands there using the towel was Stirling's starting hooker Rainer Kennedy. We mentioned he's got 3 tries to his name so far, very potent from close to the opposition line. Clean throw in. Stirling again looking to use their forward power. The ball tucked under the arm there of Connor Gordon. On towards the scrum half. Hughes again, deft little pass inside towards Tom Roach. Tipped ahead there, Roach chasing after his own kick, but it's gathered by Scott McGinley. McGinley right on his try line. He would be very much aware of taking it over his own line there and the consequences of that, but Stirling has still got play. 5 metres short of the Boroughmuir line. That was defended very well from a Boroughmuir point of view, and their scrum half there, Colleen Barretto, with a box kick practically on his own line up towards the 22. Chris, again, great play, great imagination shown both in attack, but also credit to Boroughmuir for their defensive cover.
Yeah, that was a really sharp attack by Stirling down the short side. I think they'd realised it was Rostam Bar defending on the edge, and Grant Hughes had a crack and managed to suck in that edge defender, get space on the edge, a little kick in behind, and a really good smart attack by Stirling there.
Another Rainer Kennedy throw in. Again towards the back of the line. He quickly joins in the drive, reaches in with the arms to try and get possession. He's got it once again. He just positions himself to escape now, and he's up. And once again, Boroughmuir have to remain very focused defensively. Scrum half again working it out towards the power of James Poe. Lock forward again, taking the ball into that contact situation. Stirling County remain in the Boroughmuir 22. Hughes out again towards Gowdy, taking on that right hand channel, but Stirling will have to use the scrum half Hughes to play it back infield. They remain the side applying the pressure at the moment. That ball I think just knocked off the chest of the referee there, and it provides Stirling with an opportunity, a scrummage just on the edge of the 22. And Boroughmuir, well, this a test of their defensive skills with 10 minutes gone and no score from either side.
Yeah, dangerous position for Stirling to to be in and launching their attacks from. Some really good variety in the Stirling attack in this area of the pitch, using their forwards to play off 9 a little bit, and then stretching through their backs, playing a first receiver. So yeah, they'll be looking to get a solid scrum here to launch a good scrum attack in a dangerous position on the field.
As we mentioned in the intro, Ronan Kerr for Boroughmuir returns from injury to partner Duncan Munn in the centre. Means Jordan Edmonds goes out to the left wing, and Jordan Edmonds scored when the sides met in 2019 in this fixture. He's also scored against the Southern Knights, got 5 tries in 7 matches last season. Boroughmuir will be looking to the likes of Jordan Edmonds just to apply pressure when he is in possession of the ball, particularly in the opposition half of the field. 4 tries for Boroughmuir so far this season. They got 28 in the competition last time out. And Stirling County, well, so far they've got 11 tries on the board, and they finished last season's competition, although it was a somewhat abrupt end because of COVID, but they had 27 tries on the board. So these sides know the way to the opposition try line, but they're pretty evenly matched, and we expect, as we've mentioned already, a close contest. A scrimmage then put in for Stirling County, and you can see just inside that Boroughmuir's 22. Almost 11 minutes on the clock. Hughes then was able to feed in. They're almost not entirely happy with the respective packs, so up they get once more.
Keep the binds up on this side, lads.
Set play is going to be a vitally important part of the game for both these sides, and perhaps even more so when the replacements come off the bench, Chris.
Yeah, it always is. I think the foundations are laid up front, aren't they, in terms of set piece and the contact area. So as I said, Stirling will be looking for a nice solid platform. Pulled Stephen Hamilton behind the scrum, so just have to keep that short side open potentially, depending on which way the scrum wheels.
Again, just on that 22. Hughes in position, but once again Boroughmuir, it's the home side applying the pressure in the scrum before the ball entered the scrummage. It was Stirling County who were penalised there, and it's an opportunity from their own 22 to clear downfield and just ease the pressure. A situation on them, of course, just at the foot of the table, but did start very well with the 5 Pittman penalties and the narrow win over Heriots, looking for their second win of the season. And Stirling County looking for back-to-back wins after an impressive performance against Ayr. Boroughmuir will have the throw-in almost in halfway. Craig McKenzie then, almost directly opposite where we're watching the match from, the back of the main stand. One again in the line by Will Ingles. Once more looking to find runners cutting through there. Duncan Munn was just slowed up before he could get to that 10-metre line. Recycled again with pace. One at the angle again. What options are available here for Boroughmuir? Biretto once again on there towards Tom Pittman. But the referee penalising Boroughmuir this time, so it's again penalties tit for tat as these sides look to just get the upper hand. And one side on top for a few minutes, the other side looking to hit back more or less straight away.
Yeah, the game's been kind of stuck in this middle part of the pitch for a little while now, so I think both sides will be keen to try and get a bit of time inside opposition 22 and apply pressure, which will result in points. But look, that was a dangerous enough attack from Boroughmuir there, but Jordan Edmonds getting caught a little bit lateral. Good tackle from Archie Russell, and Tom Brown coming in the side to clear the ruck and then giving that penalty away.
Stirling's throw in again inside Boroughmuir territory, and those in the line out walk forward with some purpose, waiting on Kennedy to float the ball towards the back of the line. This time he doesn't join in the drive. This time it's a little bit more open and taken there by Byron Bowes, up but just short of that 22. Looking to recycle the ball quickly there. Going in was Tom Roach, the Irishman. He'll go in a second time and recycle. On there towards Gowdy. They position themselves just strung between that 10 and 22 in a central position. This time Hughes takes over, just dictating the pace and play of the game. Stephen Hamilton and Robertson looks threatening. Hamilton into contact. Hughes once again. This time on towards Poe. Short of that 22, but they'll recycle. Hughes, good solid collision coming in there, and that was a clean ball. Boroughmuir are able to hook it forward. Stirling have players back. This is Hamilton. He goes to deck. Short of halfway. Hughes back in position. Forward they come again. Stirling County, no scoring between the sides. One penalty goal attempt from distance from Craig Robertson, just wide of the uprights. High up and under. Simprich has it. Again recycled, hooked forward there by Tom Brown. The referee though brings play back for an earlier infringement. Offside decision. Boroughmuir then will have the opportunity from the 10-metre line. So Stirling straying into an offside position. Boroughmuir will have this penalty from almost exactly the same position in the park as Craig Robertson's kick a little bit earlier, but Tom Pittman is aiming for the corner.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision in terms of kicking for the corner. It's been tit for tat. There's 15 minutes gone, no score. I'd be quite keen to try and have a crack at the post and get some points on the board, but they're obviously going to back the decision and go to the line out and launch with a maul potentially from here.
McKenzie then with the throw in. The referee just at the back of the line. Boroughmuir then inside that Stirling 22. Again worked well. Will Ingles up highest. Boroughmuir now look to try and get a bit of momentum on. The charge. They've got the ball tucked under the arm there. Looking to work it down, but now they begin to open it out. Taken on again at a rate of knots. Edmonds and Cole looking to recycle. Bierretto goes in once more. Solid tackling from Stirling County. Kennedy and Co getting back to their feet. Latest player in with the tackle there was Connor Gordon, up to within 5 metres of the line. Now the forwards look to try and take over here as Boroughmuir have options towards that right hand side. Simprich just sits a little bit further back, but the forwards again have certainly done their job. Stirling though, good turnover ball, and Simprich was aware that was going to happen. He just eased off and worked his way back, but Stirling was still able to ping it downfield up towards halfway, and Boroughmuir will be disappointed with a good attacking platform that they couldn't perhaps really test that resolute Stirling defence.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of their first entry into the Stirling 22 and no real time on possession, unfortunately, and leading to a knock-on, and Stirling have exited pretty well with a kick from Andrew Gowdy down to near on halfway, and Boroughmuir will have to regroup and go again from this set piece. But yeah, they'll be disappointed with that, to cough up possession again on their terms inside the Stirling 22.
Both sides defensively on top just at the moment. As the water carriers just come on to the field of play, and even after this stage, 17 minutes, they'll be welcomed onto the park by both sets of players. A chance for them to regroup and reflect. A little to choose between the sides in the opening exchanges.
That's perfect, yeah, great.
And that was a good exit from Stirling County, but Boroughmuir will take heart from
just hold on there, Ross.
Working the ball down from that penalty inside the Stirling 22, opening out play and getting certainly to within 5 metres of that line. Boroughmuir this time with the throw in, closer towards halfway. Again, worked well in the air. Bierretto looking for Edmonds, coming onto ball, plants it back. Bierretto once more. Opportunity now. Pittman, that pass goes back. Simprich reaches back, is able to grab. His tackle though just beyond halfway. Boroughmuir have their scrum half in position once again. Pass just out of the hands there of Craig Keddy, a member of the Boroughmuir squad, the team that won the 2015 Cup final with an emphatic victory over Hoyk at Murrayfield. But Keddy there, he was in position, just took his eyes off the ball as the pass was made, making its way towards the blindside flanker, and that move breaks down in halfway. Another scrummage, another set piece, and Stirling will have the put in.
Yeah, I'm sure Craig will be pretty disappointed with that in terms of the handling error. Allows Stirling a good chance to launch from the halfway here in terms of their attack. So we'll see what they do.
Stirling then through Grant Hughes. 15 metres in from touch. You'll see the halfway line just across your screen. Hughes in towards the back of the scrum, then is able to gather once more, taken on by Archie Russell. That pass out towards the right hand side. Hamilton and Robertson are out there, but again Stirling just slowed up, just short off halfway. They can go once more. Hughes again has a little look at the options. Forwards coming together with Hughes in behind once more. Flat pass this time on towards JP Phelan there from the fly half there, Gowdy. Ball available, says the referee. Back it goes to Gowdy. Crossfield kicks, and Pritchell will be underneath this one on the edge of his 22. Now he's got some green plane to run into. Lofts a high one and he gives chase. Stirling of players back there. Fullback Robertson. And it was the 215s coming together, but a Boroughmuir player down on the deck, very close to where the action was beginning to take the game. It was unfolding just almost in front of the injured player there. Get a glimpse of Stephen Hamilton on our screen as the scoreline remains Boroughmuir 0, Stirling County 0. We've played almost the opening quarter of the contest.
I spoke to them as well. Just make sure you're not advancing in front of the kicker. Thank you.
And Chris, what do you think both Ben Cairns and Graham Shield will made of the opening near 20 minutes of the game? Relatively satisfied, but still looking for a bit more, particularly in attack.
I think both camps will be slightly frustrated just with the sort of unforced error count a little bit, the lack of accuracy even from Stirling there off that scrum. Just the pass from Gowdy to Craig Robertson was a wide one. It didn't go to hand. It just doesn't allow you to build any flow or momentum into your attack when you're not getting off first phase good possession. So look, I think both sets of coaches will be pretty frustrated just with the sort of lack of the lack of positivity around their game at the moment, but look, it's 0-0, and they're going to reset here. So look, it just feels like one team need to take a stranglehold of this and get some time in the opposition 22.
See a solid challenge coming in there on Jordan Edmonds, who's been receiving a bit of treatment on the field of play as Stirling look to utilise both Craig Robertson and Stephen Hamilton. He's now just up on his knees, but all due care and attention will be given to the Boroughmuir player. Welcome sight that spectators are back in these grounds, mindful of the present COVID situation of course, but they've enjoyed the FOSROC Super 6 matches that we've had so far this season. It's been a very interesting season so far. You look at the table, Watsonians topping the table with 18 points from the opening 5 matches they played, then Southern Knights in second place on 16 points. Ayrshire Rules and Stirling County occupying the mid-table slots in third and fourth. Ayrshire Rules with 12 points, Stirling County with 9. Heriots also on 9 points. Boroughmuir Bears 4 points from the 4 games they played so far, but the Bears of course in action this afternoon with Stirling, looking for their second win of the season. Kyle McGee is now on the field of play, replacing a rather groggy Jordan Edmonds, who missed a portion of the opening FOSROC Super 6 season, but in the 7 matches he played, scoring those 5 tries, he was a clinical player to have in the Boroughmuir ranks.
Yeah, he is. I think I really enjoyed watching Jordan playing at 13 last week. I think he got his hands on the ball far more often and was much more of a threat. It's always difficult to get your left winger into the game at times, and I felt at 13 last week he was a real threat. And look, he'll be a big miss, and bringing Kyle McGee on, who's ultimately a scrum half, onto the wing, definitely going to lose a bit in attack.
Stirling then, as the game restarts, Hughes into that scrum. Again, trying to make some ground down the right hand side, using a bit of blind side there. Ball again goes loose, was a little untidy in terms of the handling. And Boroughmuir penalised for not driving straight there. Austin Barr, a loose head prop. So Stirling County will go back for the penalty, just close towards the halfway line, and again they'll look to angle downfield.
Came forward, there's no advantage, penalties here.
We've seen signs of 2 teams that have certainly been very much in all the matches they've played so far this season, but are just lacking that little bit of penetration up front so far.
It is a little bit cagey, isn't it? Stirling are obviously coming off the back of a win last week and desperate to get another one just before the week off. And look, Boroughmuir, after their victory against Heriots on the opening night, haven't managed to get another win on the board, so the same applies for them. They'll be looking to get one over the line today before next week's down week. So yeah, it's a bit cagey. As I said, there's plenty of unforced errors. There's been a penalty for either side at the scrum, so look, one team will just have to try and take the scruff of the neck and get some time on possession.
George Arnott this time winning the ball in the line out for Stirling County, just creeping their way inside that Boroughmuir 22. Again, reaching in to control the ball. There's the secondary drive. Oh, the momentum coming a second time anyway. Hughes now, lofted crossfield there for Gowdy. Two are across, gathered there by Robertson. 2-on-1 situation opening up here, and they're bundled into touch, but our play's allowed to continue. Hughes doing ever so well, but so too the Boroughmuir defence. Back it comes once more, taken on this time by Connor Gordon. Advantage coming for Stirling County. This is a second advantage for them. And you have to say that Tristan Andrews there positioned himself very well indeed on a couple of occasions, really as last line defence. But the penalty will be coming the way of Stirling County. Graham Ormiston going over to where he's going to call the penalty, or where Stirling up to take the penalty from. I think Scott McGinley is the Boroughmuir player penalised there for the side entry. And Stirling County still inside the Boroughmuir 22, still seeking the first score of the game so far. And they'll use the services then of the Stirling fullback just to kick this one in the corner, be a line out 5 metres from the Boroughmuir line.
Yeah, a real good opportunity here for Stirling to register some points, and that was a nice little attack crossfield from Andrew Gowdy, out the back by Craig Robertson to Archie Russell, and yeah, they're looking threatening when they have time on the ball.
So now taken again at the back of the line there by George Arnott. A well executed set piece. Rainer Kennedy knows the situation very well. He's got 3 tries to his name so far this season. Can he find his way towards the line? He's creeping round. The entire Stirling pack now looking to try and get involved in this drive. The scrum half Hughes dancing right and left, watching the action unfold just in front of him. Stirling then camped right on that Boroughmuir line. Hughes just takes his time, has a little look at the options. Again playing some crash ball. Hughes once more. Front row forwards just working their way around, taking it in turns now. Hughes, as they're getting closer towards centre field, now taken on by the second row forward, Byron Bowes this time. Now they'll try and work it out towards Hughes again. He's sniping in, looking for a second try. Scored against Southern Knights so far this season, but Stirling this time, phase after phase, they find their way to the line. 24 minutes of the first half gone, and they've got the opening score. And it looks as if Dean Taylor Menzies may well have finished off that move.
Yeah, just look, that's what happens when you can get sustained pressure inside the opposition 22, and Stirling looked really threatening. I thought Boroughmuir were going to actually hold that maul up. It looked like they'd done a good job, but Stirling managed to break away and yeah, get Dean Taylor Menzies over the line there. They'll be delighted with that. Yeah, gives them a positive outcome, having time and possession in the 22.
We'll get to see this one again. Gowdy going in after great work here from his scrum half, and Taylor Menzies there. Not the simplest of tasks, even from such close range, but he's over for another score. Scored against Ayr last weekend. Now, on his conversion attempt, comes back off the upright there. Robertson, it's an unconverted try, but a score coming 24 minutes into that first half, and it's the Stirling County number 8 with his second try in just under 2 games, 1 and a bit matches played, and the visitors lead 5-0.
Just make sure they're timing the run again for me, please.
Not a great deal the Boroughmuir defence were able to do, but the break there from Taylor Menzies, his lunge towards the line. Restart taken by the try scorer on the edge of the 22. Hughes again on towards Robertson. It's more inside that 22. Stirling looking for an exit strategy here. Hughes, second row forwards taking that in. Prop forward in this occasion. Lewis Skinner was the last player to plant the ball back.
Wait.
Byron Bowes this time.
Use it!
Should be lofted forward by the scrum half.
Wait, one, no!
Hoisted high. Gathered there very well by Tristan Andrews, just on the edge of his 10-metre line. Boroughmuir will look to try and respond here. Stirling just for the upper hand at the moment. Bowes again taking the ball into contact. Hughes in behind him once more. Now it's Robertson on towards Gowdy, working out there through the hands. There's some acceleration, but also solid defensive cover provided by Boroughmuir, as Stirling still look to get back into the Boroughmuir half of the field. And they go down this left-hand side. Blindside flanker George Arnott is tackled well there by Tom Brown, just on halfway. Hughes up very quickly on towards Rayner Kennedy again. Tackles coming in as Boroughmuir players get back to their feet and win the penalty on halfway. Bieretto was looking to scamper away there, as I think he's going to give the ball to his fly-half partner Tom Pittman to launch it downfield. Both sides will want just to perhaps take a little breather, but we've had a little bit more action to talk about, Chris, in the last few minutes.
Yeah, Boroughmuir probably more so than Stirling. That was a really good attack from Stirling. It's quite interesting watching their attack, just how interchangeable sort of Grant Hughes, Andrew Gowdy, Archie Russell are in their attack. Somebody, quite happy to jump in at 9, other players playing out the back, and other players at first receiver, which just gives you a really good dimension to your attack. So yeah, a really exciting attack, just isolated a little bit, and a good steal from Tristan Andrews to get the penalty there.
So the try coming from Dean Taylor-Menzies. The score so far at this match certainly offering plenty, and we expected a close affair. Once more on that 22, recycled again by Bieretto, looking to try and cut the ball back infield. Remember, they don't have the services of Jordan Edmonds, but they have brought on Kyle McGee, Boroughmuir. And inside the 22, trying to make some ground. Bieretto goes in again. Has a look at more options. Jack Fisher positions himself well. Bieretto once more on towards Pittman, taken on this time by Ronan Kerr, tackled inside the 22. Pittman again looking to make a nuisance of himself. Boroughmuir penalised for knocking the ball forward, and Stirling County now have the exit downfield. Sipritz gives chase, and Stirling are able to work it up towards their 10-metre line. One or two players just exchanging views with one another, as Boroughmuir will have this attacking platform just to the right of our commentary position at the front of the stand, inside the Stirling half of the field, and they'll look to get back on level terms as we approach the half hour.
Yeah, I think just again disappointment in terms of the Boroughmuir attack, just coughing up possession in a dangerous part of the field and handing Stirling the ball without having to work necessarily too hard to get it back.
Taking on the stick, Boroughmuir again at pace. Ball played in there by Scott McGinley. Players coming onto the ball at a rate of knots. Another penalty, this time Stirling County conceding. So it will be interesting just to see in this position what Boroughmuir opt to do. Again, as we'll see from the pictures, they're fairly central. And this time they are going to go for the post. No great surprise, Chris, given the scoreline and the state of the game so far.
Yeah, look, I think a sensible decision. The water carrier / tee runner was on pretty sharp there, so a coach's call probably to get the tee on. Give Tom Pittman the opportunity to try and get this one over and get some points registered on the board, because they haven't had the massive amount of opportunity and a lot of possession or time on possession, coughing the ball up a bit easily at times. So yeah, this is an important kick, 30 minutes into the game and not registering a score as yet.
Tom Pittman, we mentioned his 5 penalties against Terriers. If he's successful with this one, it'll take him on to 10 for the season so far.
No, we've got
conversions as well. And there he is in our picture. Pittman then with a few deep breaths, just to reduce their ears and get Boroughmuir a foothold in the game with their first points as we approach 31 minutes gone. Pittman then, that's a clean strike. That looks pretty straight and true. He's measured that one perfectly, and Tom Pittman lands his 10th penalty of the season. Boroughmuir's opening points of the game. It's Boroughmuir 3, Stirling County 5. And that's a little bit easier on the eye for a Boroughmuir spectator's point of view. They have points on the board. They'll look at the electronic scoreboard across in the corner and so see points registered as we restart with Andrew Gowdy. Getting deep into the Boroughmuir 22. Taking out their great determination shown by Tristan Andrews. Scored away at Ayrshire Bulls in the defeat a little bit earlier in the season. It worked very well that afternoon. Bieretto now lining up the box kick. In position. Plenty of height in the ball. 3 Stirling players, 4 now back inside their own half of the field. Back towards Hughes, the scrum half. Robertson out towards Russell. Russell now looks to accelerate. Takes a couple of Boroughmuir players with him but goes to deck.
Advantage, Green not rolling.
Boroughmuir bin for not rolling away there, so the advantage coming the way of Stirling County. Andrew Gowdy brings that one down the field. Another penalty conceded by Boroughmuir. Stirling County from their 10 then will be able to find field possession inside the Boroughmuir half of the field, and we approach the final 8 minutes of this first half with a 2-point game. Boroughmuir 3, Stirling County 5. Just a reminder of the respective scorelines then this season for the sides that played so far. Boroughmuir were 15-13 winners on the opening night of the competition against Heriots. Then they went to Millbrae, lost 24-10 to Ayrshire Bulls, then lost here at home 36-13 to Watsonians before last weekend's 22-13 defeat to Southern Knights. Really the last 20 minutes they were caught short. Stirling County 24-all draw with Southern Knights, their opening weekend fixture, then narrow defeats to both Heriots and Watsonians before their 30-28 win over Ayrshire Bulls a week ago. Rainer Kennedy then with the throw-in for Stirling County. Looking to make ground inside that Boroughmuir 22. Loose ball, worked well there. McGinley again coming onto the ball there, trying to fend off the attentions of James Pow. Boroughmuir have it back. Bieretto with the box kick. Stirling challenging, underneath it well, taken there was Tom Roach. Roach then, advantage coming for Stirling County because of a high challenge coming in there, box kick downfield, and he's bringing play back for that high challenge, and a little bit heated coming together there. Rainer Kennedy and Boroughmuir's lock forward Will Ingalls just exchanging pleasantries as tempers beginning to simmer maybe a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, it's maybe just a sign of the kind of the way the first half's gone, isn't it? Players getting a bit frustrated just with the error count and not getting so much flow into the game as they would like. So yeah, just boiling over a little bit. I think look at Tristan Andrews was a bit unlucky there. The player was falling down as he came across to make the tackle. It'll be interesting to see what Graham Ormiston has to say.
It's fallen, but you've still caught him high. It's a penalty only. Okay. Yeah, just keep the tackles down.
Referee just explaining the decision there, and being a conflab with Tristan Andrews and with the Boroughmuir skipper who's along with him as well. Robertson now alongside the referee with this penalty from the 10, angles the kick downfield towards that 22. Stirling looking to take the throw in. Just outside the 22 it will be. Rainer Kennedy receiving the ball, and he'll be looking for something from his charges before the break. No hanging about this time. Kennedy then will join in the drive just on the edge of the 22. He's the ball tucked under his left arm now, and Stirling again beginning just to try and find some openings in the Boroughmuir defence, but just forced backwards as Boroughmuir reorganise. Referee just going in here, I'm saying release now. Hughes on then towards the second row forward. Poe again. Hughes once more on the edge of the 22. Coming onto that is JP Phelan there, Jonathan Phelan. Back now towards Gowdy. Delicate pass infield towards Tom Roach. Roach good running here, and Stirling County will not be denied a second score before the break. Over they go. Try number 2, taking them on to 10 points. A collective effort there, and Stirling County double their advantage. 2 tries on the board in the first half.
Yeah, good little play there from the backs. A dummy cut and then Tom Roach on the cut, breaking through, and Archie Russell on the end against his former teammates. So will be pretty happy with that one.
Archie Russell then adding to a try against Ayr at Millbury earlier in the season. It's a second Russell try. Remember Craig Robertson's conversion of the Dean Taylor men's try coming back off the upright. But again, Russell with the try. This time it's converted, so 2 tries and a conversion for Stirling County, and they open up a 12-3 lead, and with just under 5 minutes of the first half left to play.
Yeah, a really important period of time, isn't it? That kind of 5 minutes before the half. Boroughmuir would have been keen to not concede, and Stirling, on the other hand, keen to try and get some more points on the board like they have. So, look, this is 4 minutes, 3 minutes to the half. Boroughmuir will be keen to get back into Stirling half, potentially get opportunity for points before the half-time whistle.
Match restarts. Stirling then through Hughes. Robertson again just inside that 22, played through the hands there of the latest try scorer Russell. Boroughmuir again just looking to disrupt the rhythm of this Stirling County team. Now in front by 12 points to 3. Little under 3 minutes left of the first half here at Meggetland. Hughes looking to deliver the box kick from the Stirling County right hand side, just on the edge of the 22. There's plenty of height and distance in that. Simprich is underneath it. That ricochets off the chest there. Referee allowing some advantage. Advantage now over Robertson. Plants a grubber kick, which trundles into touch down the Stirling left, just short of the 22. And Boroughmuir will have the throw in. And Martin Simprich will be a little bit disappointed there. Just couldn't quite gather the ball in cleanly there, just on the edge of halfway. Provide Boroughmuir with a platform on which to build, but they will have this throw in just outside their 22 as we creep ever closer to half time. 2 minutes until the interval.
Yeah, they're key moments, aren't they? A decent box kick but no pressure, coughs it up. Stirling react really well, and Craig Robertson puts boot the ball into close to the Boroughmuir 22, and after having scored a try, that's really important to get out your own half and apply pressure deep inside the opposition half.
Mackenzie then with the throw in just towards the front portion of the line out. Boroughmuir now trying to show some determination and forward drive, again led by Will Ingles in the second row. Recycled again, taking the ball in towards 15 or so metres in from touch, between that 10 and 22 now.
Time to run.
Bieretto with the box kick. Plenty of height on that one, a tantalising effort, allowed to bounce. Andrews does well, just measures the pass out towards Pittman, spread wide. Simprich out on that left hand side. Boroughmuir have some options now as they carry up and just over the Stirling 10 metre line. In quickly is Bieretto to recycle once more, taken on then by Tristan Andrews. He's slowed up on that 10, and Bieretto again plants a box kick which will bounce a couple of times inside that Stirling 22, and will just trundle over the try line and is touched down. So into the final 30 seconds of regulation time in this first half. A reminder, Dean Taylor Menzies with a try 24 minutes, and just a couple of minutes ago Archie Russell, the Stirling County outside centre, after a fine move from the visitors, scoring try number 2, and it was the second of the 2 tries converted by Craig Robertson, his first conversion attempt coming back off the uprights. Simprich has it now, on towards Andrews, taken on this time by Tom Brown. Brown knows slowed up before he can get near towards the 22. Bieretto once again, played out by Fisher, out towards that left hand side. Reinforcements coming in. Bieretto, Pittman, thought about the pass. Bieretto once again, looks towards Tom Brown for options. Brown is tackled, and the referee is going to go towards the pocket, and Stirling will be down a man. A yellow card shown almost on the stroke of half time.
That one there is mitigation because he's falling.
Stirling County will play the next 10 minutes with a man in the bin.
Sorry, I was given the yellow card and dealing with the foul play.
And losing the services of Connor Gordon, who's just left a picture at the open side flanker. Yellow carded there. presenting Boroughmuir with another opportunity for Pittman to add 3 points to the Boroughmuir scoreboard before we go into the half-time break. Connor Gordon in the sin bin.
Yeah, thank you.
Boroughmuir lining up, penalty goal attempt that would bring them to within 6 points of Stirling County. You've got the 2 tries on the board so far in the game. The first from their number 18 Taylor Menzies, the second from their outside centre Archie Russell. Pittman then looking to land his 11th penalty of the season. From just outside that 22, central position. The wind that we had around Meggetland has dropped a little bit. It was never fierce by any stretch. Looks a clean strike. Assistant referees agree, and we've reached the interval with a scoreline of Boroughmuir 6, Stirling County 12. 2 tries then for the visitors, the first coming in the 24th minute. Dean Taylor Menzies crashing over from close range to open the scoring for Stirling County. The conversion of his try coming back off the upright. 2 Pittman penalties have points on the board for Boroughmuir, but Archie Russell's second try of the season and Stirling County's second try of the game essentially have them in front by a margin of 6 points at the break. It's Boroughmuir 6, Stirling County 12 at half-time.
So we're going to be looking at this.
Right, no worries. Do you want
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Don't want to get dirty knees either.
Exactly. Just a wee chat, say what you would love to have for pies. This is Doogie Check, Doogie Check, Doogie Check.
This is Chris.
Chris.
Can you hear me? This is Chris speaking.
Yeah.
You got me?
You see that, Chris?
I can see that, yeah.
Here's the half-time highlights they're going to show us. So first up, early pen by the ref. Oh, cut the biscuit, yeah. So a missed penalty. Yeah. County's try maybe. Nice, some nice offloads.
Yeah, I think this maybe
Great
resulted
defence.
in a penalty, yeah. Eventually try.
Yeah. First try.
Yeah.
No problem. Conversion off the post. Another missed kick.
Yeah. It's often hits it inside. Normally they go inside and over, but inside and out.
The game against at Bridgeshaw last week, Bulls, it was no wind at all. And
Yeah.
I know that some of the kicks were hard. But only one kick all night and 7 kicks in that game.
Yeah,
went
it's
over.
unusual, eh?
Pretty poor. I mean, it's like, and of course, keeping things ticking over is vital.
Yeah, it's massively important. It is. Yeah. That's why I was surprised with Boroughmuir didn't go for the early. They had an opportunity really early in the game, went to the corner and then ultimately coughed up possession. Yellow card right on half time.
Yeah. Yeah, and no bother. Thank you very much. And obviously, coach was saying how important discipline is going to be before the game. So.
Yeah, not ideal, is it?
Right, good to go. So again, just chat to me.
Yeah.
We'll look at the screen and then we'll blather, and I'll hand back to the break. So just double checking, Adrian. Let's chat about the second half, throw to the break, and then the comms pick up after the break. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. No bother. Welcome back to Meggetland. It's a beautiful day here, no wind at all, a fantastic day for open running, high scoring rugby, and for 26 minutes no one actually told the players, unbelievable, but it managed to get some scores towards the end of that first half. Boroughmuir Bears 6, Stirling County 12, all to play for in the second 40. But Chris, let's talk about that first half performance from both sides. We thought, it's hugely important for both teams to get the win, but it was tight as all hell at the start there.
Yeah, I think that's probably shown in the team's sort of opening performance of that 20-30 minutes. It was real cagey. No team had real dominance, and then eventually Stirling got a bit of time in possession of the ball, got into the 22 and managed to get a score, but it has been pretty cagey.
Really cagey indeed, and I think Boroughmuir have to get a win. They got a win on the first day of the season. They have to get back on the board to get any chance of competing towards the end of the season. Stirling, of course, got their win last weekend. A late penalty it was as well. So, I mean, there's edgy going there. And, of course, Stirling conceded a penalty just at the end of the half there, which will be hugely frustrating.
Yeah, it will be. Look, they'll be delighted they got the score. It was about 5 minutes till half-time. And it's always a crucial part of the game, that 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after. And Boroughmuir will be delighted to get the penalty and go in 12-6.
Well, let's look at the highlights for the first half there. And interestingly, a couple of times in the Super6, penalties have been missed, and it's crucial to get the things scoring, the scoreboard ticking over.
It is, and as I said earlier in comms there, I'm surprised that Boroughmuir didn't take the opportunity to go for early points and get in front. Boroughmuir, something that they've not done much of in the first round of the Super6.
County are an exciting team, aren't they? They're really fantastic. They kind of, willing to put kick the ball to the to the wide, to the wingers and all that. Offloads are beautiful. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, it is. All the backs are really comfortable on the ball, and I said you've got Grant Hughes at 9, Andrew Gowdy at 10, Archie Russell. They're all playing kind of in at 9, first receiver, which gives you a real good sort of edge around your attack.
And you've got Craig Jordan in there at 12 as well, who creates a bit of strength as well, solidity too. The first try came from Stirling County under 26 minutes into the game. Dean Taylor Menzies it was that scored it, and he's a guy that's been involved in a lot of the good stuff from Stirling so far this season.
Yeah, he really leads from the front, Dean Taylor Menzies, and coming round the corner with pace that close to the line, it was always going to be difficult to stop.
Yeah, he's a big lad, isn't he? He's a big unit, and great body position as well. And just generally, you thought, that County started incredibly well there, and of course Tom Pittman came in and got a penalty and kept the Bears ticking it over as well. And again, discipline is key. And we mentioned before the game that discipline is going to be hugely important for both teams, particularly Stirling County, who are at the top of the table for yellow cards.
Yeah, and they've just received another one on the stroke of half time. So look, Ben Cairns will be disappointed going into the half, having conceded a yellow card and a penalty to points. Which lets Boroughmuir back into the game.
And here's another penalty. This is a conversion, was it? Going out, and this was actually for Stirling County. It was a conversion missed off the post, and I was talking to one of the Boroughmuir Bears fans, and he said, we've got a remote control that moves the posts while the opposition kicks. Yeah. And this happens often here. But normally it's windy here, but it's really benign. A good day for kickers.
Yeah, there's not a breath of wind, which is it's really unusual for Meggetland. There's always usually a bit of a breeze kicking about, so really unusual.
But this was a penalty that was taken and kicked pretty well as well, keeping things going. But the second try came, and again under concerted pressure from Stirling County, and again they took it well.
Yeah, that was a nice little play from the backs there, just a little dummy scissors, give it to Tom Roach on the inside, and Archie Russell is all good outside backs, supporting on the outside in for a score.
It is beautiful, isn't it? It's lovely to watch. And Stirling, of all the teams in the Super6, when they play open flowing rugby, they're really exciting to watch. But I guess one thing that they're guilty of, and we mentioned it before, we've mentioned it so many times this season, is there's a bit of devilment in there. There's a bit of something that's happens, and they give away penalties. They get yellow cards, and they're shooting themselves in the foot. They could have gone in at half-time with a massive advantage. As it is, it's going to be just a 6-point advantage because of something like this, and you just can't get away with it.
Yeah, look, discipline is huge in games because it shifts momentum, and like that one there, it's a yellow card. There's 10 minutes pretty much of the second half now that they're going to have to play with 14 men, so it's hugely important.
And they could have had that 9-point advantage going into the second half, and but there's the pen just gone across and beautifully slotted there by Tom Pittman as well. But my goodness, it really sets the second half up well because Bears, they're still in this game, no stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. It probably just needs one team, I think, to take a bit of dominance in the game. It's been kind of ebbing and flowing. There's been a lot of rugby played in the middle section of the pitch, so both sides will probably be saying, look, let's keep a hold of the ball, let's get into the right areas and apply pressure.
Yeah, the next 10 minutes of the second half are going to be vital. County are going to play 9 of them with only 14 men. Let's take a quick break and then we'll get back for the second half.
FOSROC Super 6 match between Boroughmuir Bears and Stirling County. The second half about to get underway. Stirling County will play the next 9 minutes down a man. Connor Gordon yellow carded for that high challenge almost in the stroke of half time. A challenge against Tristan Andrews of Boroughmuir. So the visitors then, Stirling down a man with the kick-off then. That coming off the feet there of Tristan Andrews, going loose. County leading by 12 points to 6. Hughes, lucky break then from a Stirling County point of view, and the camp just on the edge of that 22 once more. Rainer Kennedy, a little 1-2 there, trying to bring his scrum half back into play, but forwards up with play as well. Hughes has it once more. Back in field there, loose head prop, Jonathan Phelan, trying to make some ground shot of the 22. Hughes on again towards County. Oh, real cutting run here. The centres linking up well, Jardine and Russell, and a good combination in the midfield from a Stirling County point of view. Robertson occupying full back.
Second man.
And Stirling still have it. Hughes. So a bright start for the 14 men of Stirling County. Hughes again. This time it's Lewis Skinner in the side from the start this afternoon. Back now towards Jardine, taken on there by Russell. Deft pass backwards, ball goes a little loose. Boroughmuir are able to turn back possession their way. Stirling conceding the penalty as well, so Boroughmuir now have an opportunity from between the 10 and 22 to exit, really their first chance since kick-off, to take a breath and get themselves back on the front foot.
Yeah, good solid defensive set to start the second half there for Boroughmuir Bears. Stirling are probably trying to keep hold of possession and see these first 9 minutes of the second half out, down to 14 men. So first scrum of the second half, both sides will be keen to get a little bit of dominance here.
Duncan Bunn has changed his jersey as well, so damage to his 12 jersey. He's wearing a blank Boroughmuir top for the second period. Two scrum halves just coming together, exchanging a few words there. Bierretto will put the ball in alongside him. Grant Hughes watching on. Boroughmuir looking at this as perhaps a platform for them at least to get some territory inside the Stirling County half of the field. So inside the Boroughmuir half, between that 10 and 22, 15 in from touch. Re-scrum. Graham Almaston, our man in the middle this afternoon. As a back, how frustrating is this with restart after restart? I'm sure you've been asked that more times than you care to remember, Chris, but it does extend the playing time so much.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I'm just having a wee chuckle there. It's both sets, all props, it's never their fault, and there's always words exchanged at these stoppages. But look, it is frustrating, especially when you're trying to, for Boroughmuir's sake anyway, keep the tempo of the game high for these first 9 minutes when Stirling are down to 14 men. So look, it is frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone watching, I suppose, as well. I just want the game to flow, but look, it's a crucial part of the game, and ultimately it needs to be right.
And those in the scrum will seldom share the dark arts of the pack. Boroughmuir winning the penalty from the scrum on this occasion, and that makes their job a little easier, at least getting themselves back into Stirling County territory. And Pickman will look to launch this one forward with some instructions for the chasing players. Andrews at number 8 will lead the charge, but the kick downfield will take them to just beyond, in fact just short of that 10-metre line. So safety first, rather than trying to measure a kick downfield deeper into the Stirling half. Mackenzie receives the word from Ross Dunbar, the loose head prop. And this is an important set piece. Boroughmuir, remember, up a man. They've done well to pan that back to Bierretto. Andrews has it once again. A couple of good steps, running into trouble there. George Arnott with the tackle. Bierretto again, taken forward. Boroughmuir losing possession. Lost, spilt forward just on that 10-metre line. And again, that will be a moment of frustration for Graham Shule and his Boroughmuir coaching staff, as the side look to get on the front foot and get the first points aboard in this second half. 5 minutes of the yellow card still to serve, but Boroughmuir trail by 12 points to 6.
Yeah, again, just kind of second phase, isn't it? They're losing possession of the ball, and you just struggle to build any momentum, any flow into your attack when you're just coughing up possession that early in your phase play. So look, I'm sure it's something they've touched on: securing possession, keeping a hold of the ball, treasuring possession. But ultimately, again, just Ross Dunbar going into contact there and a knock on. So look, frustrating from a Boroughmuir point of view. As we've said a number of times, when they're still down to 14 men, they should be treasuring that ball just a little bit more.
One change that we haven't told you about on the Stirling County bench, Billy Dineen was due to start from the bench today. He drops out of the 23 altogether. Kevin Craney coming in to join Angus Fraser, George Breeze, Marley Lunny, Ali Mackey, Carlisle Kortwag and Ewan Cunningham, alongside Landon Hayes on the bench for Stirling County. Colin Kortweg, one of the Stirling County players who scored in this fixture back in November 2019, and his captain and hooker, of course, scored in both the matches last season. Stirling then feeding the ball into the scrum on their own 10-metre line. He's again waiting patiently as he moves forward, eventually reaching in to grab possession of the balls. Again, Stirling just looking to regroup and bring those in the back row into play. He cycled once more. Good cover defensive work there from Scott McGinley of Boroughmuir. Boroughmuir again looking to just make it a little bit harder for Stirling County just to get any freedom on the ball. But Boroughmuir, in doing so, have been penalised just on that Stirling 10-metre line, and the visitors will be able to clear. Boroughmuir binned for not rolling away, and we've now just over 4 minutes of the yellow card to serve. 4 minutes of the second half played, almost 5 now on the clock. And it remains, as it was at half-time, Boroughmuir 6, Stirling County 12.
Yeah, the ball was available.
Chris, when you look out there and you see one or two injuries being sustained by players picking up the injuries, you understand why Super 6 squads are the size they are. Excess of 30, I think it's 32 players across all the squads, and it's important to rotate, but that brings its own problems in terms of cohesion at times. So it's a fine balance for the coaches to strike.
Yeah, it really is a fine balance, and you've had some contracted FOSROC Academy players dropping back as well. You're trying to integrate them within your squad. So look, it is a real balancing act, and I think, you know, having had 18 months off and coming back into a competition that is intense, it is physical. You've seen a number of injuries, whether they're short term or long term, so far through the competition, and to key players, which has a big impact with such a short season.
JP Phelan has been withdrawn, and George Breeze, the 20-year-old under-20 Scottish internationalist, played in all of the 5 matches down in Cardiff for the Scottish under-20 side earlier in the year. He is now on the field of play, one of the players we mentioned as we read through the Stirling County bench. We'll do likewise with the Boroughmuir players on the subs bench as Rainer Kennedy throws the ball in again towards the back of the line. Again, he reaches in with that right arm and secures possession of the ball. And Stirling County, again, a little lateral. Hughes in behind. Hughes reaches in now. On they go once again, Stirling County this time. Craig Jardine was just dancing around looking for the best route forward for him and for County. Andrews again, good defensive cover by Boroughmuir as they hold up Stirling County, but Gowdy has other ideas, playing the ball towards Stephen Hamilton, using that right shoulder to fend off the blue and green of Boroughmuir. Again they recycle. Lewis Skinner this time planting the ball back. Taken on by Dean Tiller-Menz is one of the 2 first half try scorers for Stirling County. Hughes now has it. Gowdy's got a little bit of space to run into here. Gowdy on towards Hughes again, down this right hand side, cut back infield, inside centre, taking it on there. Roach towards Craig Jardine, jockeying for position as we get the best view here, but Boroughmuir have managed to get some vital turnover ball. Dan Winning crashing to the deck there, and it's going to be a box kick from Barretto. And Boroughmuir now have been able to at least clear up towards their own 10-metre line, as Stirling again looked quite sharp on the front foot there, and it was good Boroughmuir defence led by the likes of Andrews that ensured that the scoreline remains Boroughmuir 6, Stirling 12.
Yeah, that was a crucial intercept. I think it was Craig Keddy maybe getting back there for the pass that Tom Roach was trying to get on the inside. So look, Stirling are looking quite threatening on the short sides in their attack. Grant Hughes has looked lively and has made some really good decisions to go back down the short side, and again that was smart play there. So just be disappointed not to hold on to possession deep inside the 22.
Kennedy, of course, started life at Hillfoot, but as we mentioned, joined Stirling back as a 13-year-old initially. Kennedy has it once again from his throw-in, keeping his eyes up, focused very much on the way ahead, and Hughes in behind him. The scrum half with this Stirling forward pack again, determined to at least break the 22. Hughes goes in once more, players alongside him. Jardine's becoming increasingly influential for Stirling County in this second period so far. Hughes on towards the lock forward, James Power, and he's brought to ground just on the edge of the 22. Recycled again. Menz is looking dangerous as he hovers with intent. Hughes, just that pop pass towards the left hand side. He'll go again. This time is the willing runner trying to lead from the front, but Boroughmuir closing the door, and they'll be denied any turnover opportunity on this occasion as it comes back towards Menzies and Stirling County. Visitors leading through those 2 first half tries. Menzies and Russell on the score sheet. Replacement now getting a first opportunity. George Breeze really to get involved in the action. Replacement in that front row. Solid challenge coming in there on Stephen Hamilton. Scrum half again is able to escape the attentions and on towards Skinner. Still central. Hughes once more on towards Gowdy. Russell, solid tackle from Pittman. Back towards Gowdy again. Works his way to the side and then tries to straighten up, making some ground just inside the 22. Just 10 seconds left on the yellow card, and Stirling will be back to a full complement of players, but that was good work and good interception. And on the ball there, Duncan Munn, the inside centre, floated forward. Boroughmuir then easing the pressure a little bit. Hughes challenged. Solid challenge coming in there on Hughes, a replacement Boroughmuir player. Kyle McGee, of course, was on in that first half in place of the injured Jordan Edmonds. And McGee and Hughes coming together there, both fully committed to their respective causes. Boroughmuir trying to hit back as we get a replay of the challenge there. Hughes going up in the air, gathering the ball, coming in at a rate of knots as well was the replacement Kyle McGee. And applause there from the Stirling County faithful as they know they're back to a full complement. Connor Gordon back on the field of play, so no change since half time. Water Carriers back on the field of play, and a chance for the players to regroup with a scoreline of Boroughmuir 6, Stirling County 12. Chris Laidlaw.
Yeah, Stirling will be delighted with that kind of 10 minutes post half time, won't they, when they're down to 14 players. They've kind of managed the game pretty well. And that one there from Kyle McGee is very, very close, I think, to Grant Hughes' foot just being on the floor, but timing just a little bit out, and releases the pressure a little bit from Stirling.
George Cave, Ewan Ferry and Aubrey McCoob are all on the field of play now for Boroughmuir. So that's 4 changes now made by the home side as they look for some fresh minds and fresh legs in what remains of this second half. A game they're very much in, but they'll not want to go into this mid-season break of 1 week having just one win on the board, coming on that opening night, the victory 15-13 against Heriots. Maynard Kennedy readies himself to throw the ball in to the Stirling County line in Boroughmuir territory. Kennedy then with the throw, again well executed back, and a replacement there as well for Stirling County as Caleb Courtois is also on the field of play. He's had a couple of touches as Courtois. Here he goes once more, just measuring up Skinner up towards that 10-metre line again, recycled by the replacement, taking over the scrum half duties just at the breakdown, and taken on again by Jardine. Jardine using his power there to drive up closer towards that 22. Courtois again behind him, then recycled now on towards James Poe. Poe again rather stationary when he received possession of the ball. Little reverse pass then, trying to bring Stephen Hamilton into play. Just right in that central part of the pitch, midway inside the Boroughmuir half of the field. Boroughmuir are hands in the air, they're claiming that it's going to go the way of Stirling County according to the referee. I think he's penalised Craig McKenzie in fact, and it'll be interesting just to see what the option will be for Stirling County. They are indeed going to go for the posts.
Yeah, sensible, isn't it? They're 12-6 up, just looking to extend their lead a little bit and apply pressure through the scoreboard, stay in front. Look at something Boroughmuir have really struggled with in the first part of the season is just getting ahead of teams. It feels like they've always been chasing a little bit, but changes are complex in the game. When you're always chasing the game, you're always looking for that little bit extra, that little bit more. So look, they'll be disappointed. That's another penalty in a very kickable position.
Boroughmuir, of course, have Finlay Scott on the bench from Jedburgh. We're in good company, of course, with Chris alongside us. And we mentioned a few of the players on the field to play. They've also Murray Johnson and Rory Drummond to call upon if required between now and the end of the game. Now, of course, we've said this particularly about the professional game, but it applies to the part-time professionals. Your match day 23 as a collective is so important.
Yeah, even more so. And after that break of 18 months, and I suppose what you're looking for from those guys that have started on the bench is just a really big impact. And sometimes it's difficult, isn't it, to get into the flow of the game when you're coming off the bench. But you know, we've seen it in a few games. Watsonians, Boroughmuir Bears a couple of Fridays ago there. The Watsonians bench were really strong and added a fair bit to the game.
Back off the uprights there, the right hand, not the first time that Craig Robertson has struck the post during the course of this game, but it comes back now towards the number 18, Taylor Menzies. That would have extended Stirling's lead to 15-13. So 2 Robertson kicks back off the upright. Will they rue those missed opportunities? But they still have possession now. Courtois again on towards Byron Bowes initially. Courtois goes in once more. Gowdy has a little look, pass out towards Skinner. Back it comes. Russell now on to play. Out towards that left-hand side, coming up at a train there. A raid of knots was Robertson just on that left-hand side. They'll work it back infield now into that 22 if they can. Stirling County, remember, still in front by 12 points to 6. Gowdy has it again. Spin pass out towards Jardine. Menzies allowing the ball to bounce, and the referee had focused his attention there on the Stirling County number 8. He did knock the ball forward. Graham Ormiston signalling the handling error, and Stirling County back to where they started to build a move when that kick came back off the uprights. Have coughed up possession there. It remains Boroughmuir 6, Stirling 12. 2 tries on the board for Stirling County in the game so far. Dean Taylor Menzies in 24 minutes. Archie Russell closer to the half-time mark. 1 conversion from Craig Robertson, and of course that penalty card right on the stroke of half-time to Connor Gordon for the high challenge on Tristan Andrews. But Stirling were able to weather the period without their influential open side flanker, without conceding any points, and we are, as we were at half-time, Stirling leading by 12 points to 6. Bioretto then with the ball into the scrum. It's available now for Bioretto. Spin pass out there, Pittman launched forward. Ball bounces just on the edge of the 22 in front of Hamilton. Hamilton then on towards Robertson. Robertson just off the front of the main stand. Scrambling after it there was Bioretto, the Boroughmuir scrum half, but it will be a Boroughmuir throw-in just down in front of us, the front of the main stand. 12 points to 6 the scoreline. You feel that if Boroughmuir were to land a try in the game, just to apply a bit more pressure on the Stirling County side, who have had opportunities that have just come off the upright and denied them further points in the game.
Yeah, it's still a tight game, isn't it, in 12-6, and Stirling have probably had the slight upper hand in terms of the game, but as you're saying there, I think a Boroughmuir penalty or a Boroughmuir score would be a big momentum shift and give Boroughmuir a lot of confidence for the remaining part of this game.
Boroughmuir then again watching on as the players, Aubrey McCoob taking the ball just over that 10-metre line. The visitors just holding their own defensively. Back it comes again. Ewan Ferry has a little look at his options, taking the ball into contact. It's back now with McCoob, tries to huddle the challenge. Good Stirling defensive cover applied there by Taylor Menzies in particular. Laying down McCoob. And again, Bioretto on towards Pittman, out towards the fullback there, grubber from Simprich. But again, maybe a little bit too obvious, but once more, it's up just short of that 10-metre line. Bioretto is determined to try and get on with things here as Stirling, their penalty count increases by a further penalty. And play just on the edge of that 10-metre line once again as Pittman makes his way across. As a word with Craig Keddy and his scrum half. And they'll angle a kick towards the corner as they look for their opening try of the match, and a try this afternoon would be the 5th of the season for Boroughmuir. Their coach might feel they've been in short supply just at the moment, but they did come good during the course of the first full FOSROC Super 6 season, running up in all 28 tries in the end.
2, 5 and 8 red off, please.
Stirling again looking to empty the bench, and they brought on Angus Fraser. I can see him on the field of play. Bradley Lunny also on, and number 20 is Ali Mackey, and Mackey of course missed much of the opening FOSROC Super 6 season through injury, but he's back fully fit and part of the selection for Ben Cairns this afternoon. Throw in then for Boroughmuir. Again looking to, from this position deep inside the Stirling 22, make some ground here with all those fresh legs and replacements on. The group just trying to lead the line. a snatch and grab and determination shown as they're up to within 5 metres of the line. Bieretto again having a little look towards the right hand side, but not required just at the moment, as Bradley Lunny providing some defensive cover. Over it comes. Boroughmuir though bundled to the deck. 5 metres from the line. Bieretto again has a little look on towards Pittman. Pittman now on towards this left hand side. They're queuing up just to support Pittman once again. Stirling, solid defence though, led there by, see Ali Maki on with the initial tackle there as Bieretto once again. Ball goes a little loose, comes back there towards Tom Brown, reached up and was able to grab and secure possession for the home side. Camped practically on that Stirling line. We've played now 58 minutes off the match. Boroughmuir seeking their opening try of the game. Camped almost underneath those posts. They try and pick and go, and they'll just take it in turns to work their way along that Stirling defensive line. As once more George Breeze gets back to his feet, and we'll go again as Stirling look to defend the line. Ball goes a little loose, and you hear the match referee Graham Ormiston penalising number 20, who is Ali Maki, one of the players just literally on the field of play, and back they will come for the penalty inside that 22. High time we've heard once again from Chris Laidlaw. Chris, it's edge of the seat stuff for those watching Boroughmuir.
Yeah, look, it's been a while, or it's felt a while anyway, since Boroughmuir have had that kind of sustained pressure inside the Stirling 22. So Clean Barretto's buzzing around there, a real sort of intensity around the attack, and some good dominant carries. So it'll be interesting. Look, I think the kick's not a foregone conclusion at the stick, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to the corner and try and come away with a try, which brings them right back into the game.
Pittman's doing just that. Just ricochets off one of the floodlight posts, and the ball into touch. So now another important throw in here for Boroughmuir. Craig McKenzie looking to throw the ball into this Boroughmuir line. One clean ball in the air there by Ewan Ferry. Now they look to try and get the drive on so close to this Stirling line. Looking for a 5th try of the season and the first of the afternoon to bring them back to within a point with the conversion to come. And over they go for the score. And it is Ewan Ferry. Ferry the try scorer. He won the ball in the initial line out. The set piece aspect of play was good, and they were able to follow through with the score. They've used the bench to good effect, and Boroughmuir are back to within a point with the conversion to come.
Yeah, that's sort of reward, I suppose, for the last five or so minutes. They've had time on the ball inside the Stirling 22. They've gone to their driving maul a couple of times, and now they've come away with a score in the corner for Ewan Ferry. So look, that brings them right back in the game with a kick to come to take them ahead. And look, it's not felt like they've been on top or had massive amount of possession or territory. So they've done really well to hang in there up till the 60-minute mark, and now they've got themselves right in the mix with a kick to come to potentially put them ahead.
There's a significant moment in the game, you would feel. Craig Robertson, we mentioned 2 kicks. Disappointment for him coming back off the upright in the first and the second half. But now Tom Pittman, a successful conversion would give Boroughmuir a 1-point advantage going into the final 19 minutes of the contest. Here he goes then. Drifting across, no problems at all. An excellent execution there from Pittman, and that's his 3rd conversion of the season. He's landed 11 penalties as well. He's been an important figure in this Boroughmuir side. This Boroughmuir revival this afternoon, and the home side lead by 1 point, 13 points to 12, and that sets us up very nicely for a very intriguing final quarter of the game. Restart then, taken immediately by Tristan Andrews, making some ground outside that 22. Bieretto stretches a leg in, looking to deliver the box kick. Again, the charge down attempt coming through there was Bradley Lunny of Stirling County, so made life difficult for the Boroughmuir scrum half. And a one-back possession again for County, the visitors. They'll be hurting after conceding that try. What can they show now? Gowdy in the thick of the action at the moment is Stirling again inside Boroughmuir territory. Recycled again once more. Bradley Lunny up with play, knocking the ball forward though, County. So this a test of their mental capacity as well, because well, the two sides, when they met in the opening season, we talked about this before, two very close matches. County winning here in November 2019 by a margin of 3 points, 27-24, and then winning at Bridge Hawk by 2 points, 36-34, the end scoreline, and we're just a point separating the sides now, Chris.
Yeah, it's nip and tuck, and moving into this last quarter. And look, you know, it's always a tale. You score a try and Stirling kick off, and Tristan Andrews did really well off the carry, off the kick off there, and then you get charged down and you lose possession, and whilst you're just trying to get back into the Stirling half straight from the try. So look, they've been impressed with the Boroughmuir Bears bench. I think they've added a fair bit since they've come on, and Obrahim Kube, and here comes Rory Drummond as well. So look, Ewan Ferry getting the score, so they're adding a bit, and like we touched on, that's what you're looking for from your 23 players coming onto the pitch and making a real impact for the time that they're on there.
Rory Drummond on, as you mentioned, for Craig Keddy. So two experienced campaigners, one replacing the other. And what a boost this would be for Graham Shule and Boroughmuir if they were to win this contest this afternoon, going into the tournament's break next weekend. Of course, Stirling County themselves chasing back-to-back wins after their very impressive and narrow win over Ayr last weekend by 30 points to 28. Those 5 tries that we mentioned, 11 so far for the season for County, 5 now for Boroughmuir. Rory Drummond wears a broad smile since coming on the field of play, but quite a bit for these Stirling County players now to think about. Craig Robertson has been an active servant, a stalwart figure in Stirling County colours, and he'll have other ideas. He'll be engineering a plot and a plan from a Stirling point of view, as Boroughmuir players will do likewise. And the Stirling players still getting a little bit of treatment, as Stirling, I think, have gone to the bench once more, bringing on the services of Ewan Cunningham on for Andrew Gowdy. So a further change there in our picture is Cunningham exchanging a quick handshake with Andrew Gowdy. He'll leave the field of play just with 18 minutes of the game left to play, and we'll restart with a Boroughmuir scrum inside their own half off the field. And Caleb Courtwag alongside Biaretto, the scrum half, Colin Biaretto. Biaretto himself a product of Perthshire Rugby Football Club and Glenalmond College, and of course he's had experience as a Glasgow Warriors player. He's made his Warriors debut back in 2017 against the Ospreys, also had spells at Glasgow Hawks and at Mar, so he knows his way about. And we've seen he likes to provide quick ball, and he likes a quick fast game, Chris. Yeah, he does. I think we've seen that in the opening rounds up to this point. He's got the kind of all-court game. He's a running threat. His kicking game has come on actually in the weeks watching him. His kicking game today has been very good, and he provides a real tempo and intensity to the Boroughmuir attack. He's so lively. He's very vocal. So yeah, he's had a good opening few weeks to this competition so far. Ball then in from the Boroughmuir scrum half, Colleen Biaretto. He's got eyes on the ball just now. It's flicked back there and made available now, and Simprich just extending play out towards this left hand side. Simprich up with play, so too is Biaretto. Little spin pass out there and brings Pittman back into play, as Boroughmuir now just trying to occupy a position on that halfway line. Little decoy run coming in there from Duncan Munn. It's now his outside centre, Ronan Kerr, that takes the ball up towards the 10-metre line. Half-backs linking up well. That floats over the head there of the Boroughmuir number 8. Audrey McCool just couldn't take the ball clean on the first attempt. It's a knock-on advantage played by the referee. Stirling County now occupying possession on halfway. The advantage was short-lived. The handling error there coming a little sort of misunderstanding. I think it was Tristan Andrews just lowered the head. The ball was making its way there towards Audrey Nkoob, but he couldn't take the ball initially. First time just deflecting off the palms of the right hand, and it, as a consequence, is a set piece on halfway. A little bit stop-start the last couple of minutes, but both these sides will want to get back on the front foot in the groove before we reach the conclusion of the game. 13-12.
Drive straight, stay on the body.
Vast majority of the games in the FOSROC Super 6 competition this season have been close run things, and that's certainly good from a competition point of view.
Set.
Kotlag feeding the ball into that Stirling scrum. One there at the base of the scrum, back towards Kotlag, up to Russell again. His pass goes over the head there of his replacement scrum half. He has to scramble back and win possession. Turnover opportunity for Boroughmuir, and it's won by the home side. Played there initially by Ronan Kerr, just down below our commentary position. Now the scrum half again goes in to try and ferry the ball out, but meanwhile the referee there, Malmeston, penalising Stirling County. Just a fraction inside their own half of the field. County offside. So Pittman will now look to launch this one a little deeper into county territory as Boroughmuir look to ways to try and turn the screw in the final stages of the contest. Ping downfield then, and that was a better from Pittman, and from the point of view of distance anyway, taking them into the 22.
Yeah, his forwards will be happy with that one. I think working hard to get penalties, so you want your kicker to try and get them as deep as they can to nail home that advantage, I suppose. So look, it's a really promising position for the Boroughmuir Bears here to launch.
Throw in, Finlay Scott. Again, what? Well, there, Drummond just at the back of the line. Scott again has managed to win possession, and he's just watching on. His head's up, scrum cap on, just aware of what is in front of him and the ground he's able to make there. Bieretto in behind. Boroughmuir just suddenly accelerating and coming into life. Bieretto again in position, 5 metres from the line. Recycled there. Played by Munn, just a little bit rushed pass there, but Boroughmuir still in possession. Bieretto again, scrambling for the ball. The ball goes a-begging, comes back towards Bieretto. Another advantage played by the referee, so Boroughmuir just on top at the moment as it comes back once more towards Kyle McGee. Shipped out there, Munn has a look. Little grubber kick played infield there. Simprich gives chase. He looks to try and touch down. Boroughmuir should be in for the score this time, and that was excellent play there. Boroughmuir's right winger coming good. Tom Brown up with play. Simprich with the little grubber kick. Brown just positioned himself perfectly, and the referee allowing play to continue with that advantage. And it's been a very good few minutes from a Boroughmuir point of view as they now extend the lead, Chris.
Yeah, we were saying that. It felt like if they could get a penalty or a try, Boroughmuir, their confidence would grow. And look, I think Stirling, for me, have looked a little bit disjointed since their subs have entered the field of play, and for me, Boroughmuir's bench have just really come on and added a real impetus into the game. So it would have been interesting if actually Tom Brown hadn't go over there, if they would have gone back for an early tackle or even a penalty try potentially on Martin Simprich. It looked like he was tackled early as the ball was about to bounce up into his hand. So look, they'll be delighted with that score. Get some a little bit of breathing space with the kick to come.
I think they would certainly have grounds for claiming a penalty try, as Boroughmuir watching on. Pittman placing the ball on the tee. So a fruitful 7 minutes for Boroughmuir since the hour mark. Ewan Ferry coming off the bench to score the opening try. Tom Brown, the right winger, with a second. Pittman then with this conversion attempt to take Boroughmuir to the 20-point mark. 12 minutes of the half left to play, 12 minutes of the match left to play. Pittman with another clean strike and another 2 points for the home side. So the game swinging very much in the home side's favour now. And Graham Shield must be a lot happier with the performance of his side, certainly going forward, particularly in the last 7 or 8 minutes, as they now lead by 20 points to 12. We get to watch this again, and Pittman just rather Simprich chasing his own kick. A good grubber kick, good work there, and good support from Tom Brown as well. And Stirling County though, right on this Boroughmuir line from the restart kick. Once again Boroughmuir under some pressure here. County then, as we just adjust our position here, watching on the action, and they'll be desperate to hit back almost immediately. Boroughmuir have got themselves in a bit of a hole here. Stirling County looking to try and pick and go. just a couple of metres short of the Boroughmuir line.
Don't pull in. Red.
County again, Bioretto from his own line is able to find a box kick that just eases the pressure ever so slightly. But Chris, just take us back to that restart after talking in positive terms from a Boroughmuir point of view going forward from the restart. Things just started to unravel for them.
Yeah, and as a coach, you're massively frustrated with that. You've just done really well to get yourself back in the game first and foremost, get yourself ahead with a score, and then just don't clear your lines or get out your own half there. And now you're under pressure. Stirling got this line out here. Yeah, the coaches will be massively frustrated with that. It just needed a tidy carry from Tristan Andrews. Probably didn't need to push the pass to Kaleem, and they're under pressure.
And the throw in there, contested by both sides. Angus Fraser, plenty of pace on the ball as again County now looking to pepper this Boroughmuir line. 20 points to 12, the scoreline into the final 10 minutes of the contest. Boroughmuir are certainly again being able to weather the storm defensively, turn things over. Bioretto once again, box kick from 5 metres. And the purpose there in that box kick was to try and get the ball towards touch, right on the touchline. Stephen Hamilton keeping the ball in play, finding his fullback there, Craig Robertson. A few Boroughmuir staff in front of us feeling that he was in touch there when he played the ball towards his fullback. Right on the halfway line now, Stirling again looking to try and build as they lift the momentum. Simprich with the latest tackle. Forward pass though, the Stirling momentum just breaks down. And their fluidity letting them down on this occasion with the pass going forward. And Boroughmuir's bossing this last 10 minutes of the contest since the hour mark when they scored the opening try of their 2 tries. Ewan Ferry from a well-controlled line out. And really since then they've had the upper hand, but not without 1 or 2 scares.
Yeah, that was again just a really good kick from Kaleem Barretto, a long raking kick to Stephen Hamilton, and there's just a different energy about the Boroughmuir Bears since they got themselves back in the game and now in front. Kick chase was outstanding from Aubrey and Cuvey, and now they've managed to turn over possession on the halfway and get put into the scrum, so they'll be delighted with that outcome.
Boroughmuir Bears then on top at the moment with this scrummage. Kaleem Bioretto
Stand up.
ready just to feed the ball, just as you see, spinning the hands, keeping the hands warm, spinning the ball in the hands, I should say. The spectators just across on the far side watching on, occupying positions both in the main stand and from the vantage point across on the far side as we watch. And where this scrummage will be, this is the Boroughmuir right hand side.
Set.
And of course, we at this stage in the game will have to turn our attentions to think about the player of the match as it's prodded forward there. Stirling have 2 players back inside their own 22. Will that carry just over the line? Try line it does. So Stirling will have a goal line dropout, as that back ball was just a little bit too strong there. But Chris, yes, as part of your role as the summariser, you will lead the deliberations over player of the match. But that's not surprisingly in the game been a few contenders so far.
Yeah, there has. I think on both sides. There's definitely a few contenders out there. Just give it another few minutes, will we, and see how the game goes.
Drummond then again just running into contact. Solid challenge. 2 tackles coming in there on Drummond once more as he's bundled backwards, and that ball just again escaping the tensions of the Boroughmuir players, running on, knocking the ball forward. Such is their eagerness to have Stirling County on the back foot and keep them on the back foot. But County, you can sense there's still a lot of danger in this Stirling County side, with just 6-7 minutes of the contest left to play in the game, very much on the knife edge. 20 points to 12, but crucially from a Boroughmuir point of view, they have a lead of more than a converted try.
Yeah, that's really important. And look, they look a little bit edgy, don't they? Just trying to probably see out these last 6 or so minutes, but they probably just need to keep trusting what they've been doing in the last sort of 20 minutes or so, and keep playing and be brave and ultimately, you know, press Stirling to make decisions and play from deep in their own half.
Again, Caleb Kortwag feeding the ball in. Immediately an advantage called by the referee, then the penalty.
Number 1 green.
And
Sorry, 17 green, knee to floor.
Gone against George Cave this time of Boroughmuir, coming on. I think he came on for Roston Bar. Certainly playing in the loose.
No, I need you to drive
And played forward left footed downfield there by Craig Robertson.
Thank you.
And a chance, it's a better platform here for Stirling County. Angus Fraser, under 18 and under 20 internationalist, a try scorer against Ayr, one of the 5 try scorers in the game last weekend in that 30-28 victory over Ayrshire Bulls.
If you need to adjust, you can adjust now.
Stirling County trailing the Boroughmuir Bears at Meggetland this afternoon.
Time back on.
5 minutes of the game to go. Again towards the back of the line. Courtweg again measuring the pass, an important one, taken on there at pace by initially Landon Hayes, as Stirling again looking to prod that one through. It's going to be a chase towards the line. Are they able to gather and plant the ball down? They are indeed. This is going to set up a grandstand finish here, and County pace and drive down the left hand side, and it was Tom Roach, the Irishman, chasing onto that grubber kick, showing his pace and acceleration. His father had come across for an earlier FOSROC Super 6 fixture. We get to see this one again, Chris. Russell with the pass, on there towards the fullback, Craig Robertson, and it was acceleration of Tom Roach, just outpacing the Boroughmuir defence, touching the ball down, and it's a try that brings Stirling County back to within 3 points with the conversion to come. A very well executed score.
Yeah, an outstanding score. Just Martin Simprich brought up into the line. Craig Robertson had noticed that in a really well timed kick. Great weight on the kick, and bounces up into Tom Roach's hands over in the corner. And as you said, we're in for a grandstand finish.
3.5 minutes of the game left to play. Stirling County then with their latest try, looking to add the conversion. Assistant referees looking at one another. So Archie Russell, Dean Taylor Menzies, and now Tom Roach scoring tries for Stirling County. Ewan Ferry and Tom Brown for Boroughmuir Bears. What can the Bears do now in the closing stages? They'll certainly want to protect this 3-point game. A penalty or a drop goal. We did see a drop goal in the Edinburgh derby between the Heriots and Watsonians at Golden Acre last weekend, the first in the competition. That of course would level the game from a Stirling County point of view. Chris has been continued to think of the player of the match, as again Stirling trying to work it from the edge off that 22, and they'll very much look to try and dictate the closing stages now, Chris.
Yeah, they will. Look, Stirling are probably going to have to launch from inside their own half with the clock running down, so Boroughmuir will be content just to give them possession, stay out of rucks, get numbers on feet and apply pressure that way through their line speed.
And as for your player of the game this afternoon, who would you give? We'll get that in just a second. The Simprich drifting through there, real rate of knots, trying to bring Ronan Kerr into play up towards the edge of the 22. Tristan Andrews, the Boroughmuir number 8, has been a real influential figure during the course of the game, as Tom Pittman works his way up towards that 22, and on the 22 Boroughmuir will go Kaleem Biaretto again, just inside the 22. Boroughmuir will want to dictate the pace of the game. Munn almost getting in the way there, but he's one possession back once again, making a nuisance of himself. The clock ticks down. It remains in Boroughmuir hands at the moment. Second row forward, Will Ingles takes the ball into play. Inside that 22, still it's going to be a drop goal. Pittman looks to deliver one, and Pittman lands one, and we have a drop goal, and it's gone the way of Boroughmuir to extend their advantage to 23 points to 17. A competition gone so many games without a drop goal, has had 2 in the space of a week, and Tom Pittman landing a beauty there. And we mentioned, well, he's got the full collection now. 2 penalties this afternoon, a drop goal, and he's been secure with conversions as well. He landed a beauty from the touchline, and Pittman has shown his skills with that right boot of his.
Yeah, that was a clean strike, and it's funny what one drop goal does in the competition to the mindset of the other players, and of it being a real possibility to kind of close games out or swing momentum in games. And that was an outstanding drop kick, really clean strike straight between the uprights, and just nudges them ahead a little bit further into the closing minutes of the game.
It was almost thought of as a lost art as we get to see it again. He was just in that right position.
Yeah.
And again, he trusted the drop kick, he trusted his skill in being able to drop and launch a kick from a central position. No on-rushing players. And he'll be chuffed to bits with that, I'm sure. 23 points to 17. Stirling County require then a converted try. The restart kick short of that 10-metre line. Boroughmuir were aware it was some way short, would not contest the kick-off. And they're looking to go into the break at the midway point in the season, having won their second match of the season. Remember, defeats to Ayrshire Bulls, to Watsonians and to Southern Knights after that opening weekend win against Heriots. And Stirling County, of course, have a draw and a win amongst their opening 4 matches. But it looks as if they're heading to defeat here at Meggetland. And there is confirmation. Tristan Andrews has been awarded man of the match, and I don't think too many people, if any, will disagree with Chris Laidlaw's thoughts on his performance today.
Yeah, for me, Tristan's been he's been really strong on attack. His footwork before contact, through contact, his ball carrying, really solid defensive effort, and he's lasted the full 80 minutes and has continued to do that throughout the game. So yeah, for me, a deserved player of the match.
FOSROC Super 6 player of the match then, the Boroughmuir number 8, Tristan Andrews. Landed a try against Ayrshire Bulls, but has put in a very solid performance, and he's the latest player to claim the FOSROC Super 6 Player of the Match award. Of course, plenty of FOSROC Super 6 rugby to come in the second portion of the season, and this sets things up very nicely indeed, as Boroughmuir were just at the foot of the table after 4 matches. A victory will certainly enhance their standings as they look to get closer to their visitors today, Stirling County and Heriots, the 2 sides directly above them in the table. From the scrummage then on halfway, Bierretto with those outstretched arms, knowing that the clock is ticking down. We've reached the 80-minute mark on our on-screen clock, and this is Boroughmuir's opportunity just to see out this match. Our scrummage then, or rather the reset scrum here, as Tristan Andrews' name is announced to those inside Meggetland this afternoon watching on. I don't think any have left early, given the close nature of this game. And Colleen Bierretto then right on halfway, his white studs you can see digging into the halfway line there. That rather untidy scrummage from a Boroughmuir point of view in particular, but the referee again intervenes.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I know that first scrum they had was solid, and the ball was available. They should have just taken it out and kicked it out, and that would have been the game. But they kept it in, trying to get a nudge on for a penalty by the looks of it, and Gray Morrison just blew up. So yeah, it's an interesting phase of play here, because if Stirling were to get awarded a penalty, it makes things pretty interesting. And
of course, coming on the back of a win, I suppose the last thing you perhaps want is a week's break. This will be maybe, you know, the preferred option for Stirling County, losing today to reflect on the season so far. But for Boroughmuir, starting so well, beginning of the season with that win over Heriots, and then this afternoon, you want to build on this.
Yeah, you do. Ultimately, you want to build some momentum and results definitely do that. But look, it has been a pretty intense physical opening to the competition. I think the players are probably ready for a bit of a lighter week or a down week, as I'm sure the staff are. And for Boroughmuir, they'll be looking to get some of their backs probably on feet and back fit for the second portion of this FOSROC Super 6. Because on their bench today they had 2 9s, so they'll be looking for some more backs on feet to really enhance the squad as they go forward.
And of course, Kyle McGee on for Jordan Edmonds, an injury to Boroughmuir quite early on in the game. Bierretto very deliberately feeding the ball backwards there in the scrum. Stirling coming all the way through. And the Stirling players feel somewhat aggrieved by that refereeing decision. None more so than George Arnott, who looks as if he's perhaps been the winning lottery ticket there. He seems somewhat crestfallen by the decision of Graham Ormiston, the referee, but he knows what's at stake as Stirling go chasing a converted try to win the game at the very death. And Bioretto, they'll just want to see this through. Clean exit from the scrummage, and Chris, surely that will be the game.
Yeah, just a real nail-biting end to the game, I suppose. Stirling pushing hard to try and get a penalty, and a good kick to the corner off that, and yeah, Boroughmuir keen to get in and away, I suppose, this last scrum, hopefully for them.
And Bioretto, well, it's worked its way back towards the scrum half. He's under a bit of pressure. It's going to be Pittman leathering the ball into touch, celebrating the win. Pittman, whose drop goal just applied a little bit of icing on the Boroughmuir cake this afternoon, and the Meggetland side win for a second time this season in the FOSROC Super6 Championship, and that lifts them closer to the sides directly above them in the table. And you have to say all credit to both sets of players, Dean Taylor-Menzies and Archie Russell, with tries for Stirling County in the first half. A yellow card shown as well to the back row forward, the open side flanker Conor Gordon, almost on the stroke of half time when Stirling were leading by 12 points to 6. You felt that would make life somewhat difficult for the visiting side at the start of the second period. But as you see there, Boroughmuir coming out on top by 23 points to 17. Stirling started with some solid and resolute play in the opening stages of the second half, but the game started to swing the home side's way on the hour mark. Ewan Ferry off the bench, excellent execution from the line out. He crashed over from close quarters. Then a very good try indeed in the 67th minute from Tom Brown, supporting a little grubber kick through from Martin Simprich, who couldn't quite finish off the move himself. Brown was in perfect position to crash over for the score. And we've had again an excellent piece of kicking display and play from Pittman, Tom Pittman of Boroughmuir, who landed 2 early penalties to keep his side very much in the game in the first half. An excellent conversion from out wide in particular was one that he will remember, and of course his drop goal to complete the set. From a personal point of view, he'll be chuffed with that. But 23 points to 17, the final score, and it's Boroughmuir who land their second win of the season. So the Stirling County players then will applaud Boroughmuir off the field as they work their way down the line. They'll be disappointed, Chris, you must admit.
Yeah, they will be. Probably, that performance, they were ahead, but just ultimately didn't manage to keep their noses in front and close that game out. So yeah, they'll be massively disappointed coming off a victory last week and not being able to back that up.
Here's the little grubber kick through Simprich with the chase, and the Tom Brown score, bringing Boroughmuir right back into the game at that point. We'd watched the try from Ewan Ferry, and here's the drop goal. Bioretto and Pittman again. You could see there was just perfect space for him. He'd positioned himself very well indeed to land another drop goal, the second of the history of the tournament. So it's Boroughmuir then who complete this first portion of the season as we go into a 1 week break with a win this afternoon, the final match of the weekend, and their second win of the season. A narrow victory and their first ever victory against Stirling County in the FOSROC Super 6 competition. There's the final score, a reminder of that on the screen. Boroughmuir Bears 23, Stirling County 17.
Just save it for me anyway.
Welcome back to Megatland. A huge second half performance from Boroughmuir Bears means they win this by 23 points to 17. County ahead at half time, but I tell you, Tom Pittman was fantastic from the tee and also from hand as well. Thoroughly deserved victory for the Boroughmuir Bears. They were needing it as well. They won in the first weekend. Now they've won just before the break too, and I'm delighted to say we have the FOSROC player of the match with us. It's Tristan Andrews, and Tristan, let's talk about that performance, second half in particular. You guys were fantastic.
No, it was definitely, we noticed that we needed to bring the energy up when they came in the second half, because kind of just let them walk through us a few times for some tries, so just lift the energy, get a bit of composure, but
now, Steb, we'd be a bit closer to the mic there. We're struggling to hear you there, but you've normally got a loud voice shouting during the game. But I mean, let's talk about the second half. You started against 14 men. You put the pressure on there. Didn't score any points, but you kind of set the tone for the half, didn't you?
Yeah, we definitely. Obviously, we spoke about having the advantage of one man, but we didn't use it. But we didn't manage to get some tries in the end. Just keeping putting pressure on them, keeping them down that end. So, yeah.
You've been so close in a lot of the matches as well, so to get that win again after that win in the first weekend, to get that win just before the break must be vital for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely great having a win going into the break. We did speak about it briefly during the week. If we go into this break with a win, then we can try to build on that when we come out of the break, get a good bit of training in while we're...
It was a really solid team performance today as well, wasn't it? I mean, all the guys in the team really put in maximum effort.
Yeah, no, definitely everyone put in a good shift there. Definitely effort all around the park, so just happy to be part of the team.
Absolutely, and I guess I was speaking to your coach beforehand, and he was saying, you've been so close, and it's all about putting together an 80-minute performance with, the big squad that you've got here. And I guess that was an example of that today, because you've been so close so many times, so to actually get over the line and to go over the line with a drop goal right at the end was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice to have that wee bit of an extra margin at the end. It was quite a relief when Tom put that drop goal over, so It was definitely good fun.
Absolutely fantastic. And you deserve it as well. Great win for the team and a great performance from you. You are the FOSROC player of the match. Tristan Andrews, you got Captain Craig Keddy come in to give you a big hug and a big kiss. He's going to lift him. He's going to be on his, what's he going to do? All his knees. Look at that. Beautiful. Worthy of the big handshake, worthy of the hugs, worthy of everything. Brilliant performance and fantastic for the Bears to get their first win for a wee whiley. And here it is right here. Let's have a look and see what happens with the table. Watsonians at the top after their great win on Friday night against the Southern Knights. As you can see at the bottom there, Boroughmuir Bears still at the bottom, but they're so much closer to Herry. It's just 1 point the difference at the bottom. The second half of this competition is going to be absolutely fantastic. We are taking a break, however. There will be no match here next week, but we'll be back in a fortnight's time. Boroughmuir Bears in action once again. They're up against the Southern Knights. That should be an absolute cracker. Don't go anywhere else on a Sunday, because this is the place to be on Free Sports for some of the finest rugby you'll see with some of the great players in Scotland. It's been a great one this afternoon and a great win for Boroughmuir Bears from all of us here. Thank you so much for your company. Bye for now.